In 2024, a new era in American karting dawns. An era that could change the sport forever. As more than 250 drivers descend on the Orlando Kart Center, a record prize fund of over $250,000 is on the line. The stakes have never been higher. This is the 2024 SKUSA Pro Tour. In Micro Swift, the Jamaican sensation Zane Burgess heads the entry after winning the SKUSA Winter Series, but he faces a tough challenge from Leo Simoni, Liam Natchawati and many more. Last year's Micro champion Maxwell Matcher graduates to Mini Swift, where Alessandro Truscio and Supernats champion Royce Vega start as favourites. Both Junior X30 and KA100 Junior are packed with talent. Newly nominated CIK FIA Academy driver Turner Brown joins the Rollerson Performance Group for a double title tilt, but he faces tough competition in KA100, not least from Enzo Vidmontien and Sebastian Garzon, who renew their Winter Series rivalry. More than 40 entries will vie for KA100 senior honours. Blake Nash, Stephen Miller and the returning Cameron Weinberg head a list of at least a dozen potential champions, while in KA Master and Master Shifter, the likes of Mario Barros, Michelle Garrido and Maranello teammates Skitchy Barnes and Joe Rook hope to share the spotlight. The inaugural Pro Show classes have attracted world-class grids. Reigning Pro Tour champion Marion Kremers returns to take on former world champion Matthias Morgado, the always formidable Danny Formal, and 24 other Pro Shifter drivers. Finally, at least half of the Pro X30 entries can easily take the title, and the fight between Ramos, Del Tullio, Keeble, Carr, Garrison, Bonilla and Haynes should be epic, not to mention the presence of a certain Ryan Norberg. It's set to be a record-breaking season in the Pro Tour, and the only way to follow the action is on Kart Chaser, in association with Acceleration Kart Racing.
Well, for those of you here in the paddock today and for those of you tuning in from live around the world, welcome to Orlando Kart Center as we get set to bring you a full day of action for the SuperKarts USA Pro Tour. It's opening weekend here in Central Florida, overcast skies from this multi-turn racetrack, and over 250 drivers are here for the Winter Nationals to kick things off with a brand new format, a brand new season of racing, and a brand new voice joining us here for the season. Henry Beaudet alongside me here.
Xander Clements, thank you so much for the invite. I cannot remember being this excited about a race meeting in many years of doing this job. We are, as the voiceover suggests, on the precipice of a new era in the history of the SKUSA Pro Tour. What a place to start. 258 drivers from 27 nations. The youngest, 7 years old. The oldest, 67 years old. And we are going to be very lucky to bring you some fantastic racing. Drivers from around the world are here, and they're going to put on a world-class show.
Well, let's take a look at what this circuit looks like here for those tuning in. This is the 12-turn Orlando Kart Center map, 0.8 tenths of a mile in total, just over 3/4. First up, major passing zone at the end of the straightaway. This is one of the interesting parts of this racetrack. First and foremost, the start-finish line centered around the racetrack. Normally it's up against the outside wall right in front of the fence line for the spectators. This one in the middle of this arena-like bull ring. And then down to turn number 1, that's always a good place to pass. And the starts definitely beneficial for the inside lane with a full 180 before they go through that kink at turns 3 and 4. And then a major passing zone where you can dive from 3 or 4 car lengths back at turn 5. But you have to be careful because they'll get right back to you in turn 6. It's a nearly full throttle turn 7. The shifters will drop down 1 gear and then put the power back down through the sweeper, through turn 8, over another passing zone turn 9, and then you go down, as Henry coined it, scrapyard straightaway, soon to be bamboo straightaway with the extra foliage planted on the outside of the racetrack, and it heads into the tightest hairpin in the entire North American karting circuit, turn number 10, another corner where you can send it from way back. You can also send it on top of someone from way back. Turns 11 and 12 are a quick section that you fly the curbing on that takes you a full lap around Orlando Kart Center. So that brings you through the entire racetrack here, 0.8 of a mile. Of course, again, my name is Xander Clements, alongside me, Henry Beaudet, for the SKUSA Pro Tour. Rob Howden, unfortunately, not able to join us in the booth here. He will not be here for the second round as well in Cincinnati. He's over with his duties over at the USF Pro Championships opener at St. Petersburg. We've got a bunch of our friends. In fact, we've also lost a couple of our team members. David Land is over there, and our main producer, Simon Sykes, is competing in the USF Pro 2000 Championship. There's racing all around the world here this weekend, but I like to think we've got a pretty good product here, Henry.
Yes, indeed, we do. A big hi to everyone watching back home. Please keep your comments coming in on the YouTube stream, on the live chat for today's broadcast. We want to know where you're watching from, who you're cheering for, and what your hopes are for the first ever pro show. There's over $250,000 on the line for the season, and it's going to be a fantastic, fantastic championship.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing to watch all of the action here this weekend. And again, a brand new format, the Pro X30 Pro Shifter classes. For those of you that are tuning in now, you've got a long wait until they are underway here. For now, we're focused on the semi-pro categories, every bit of the 100cc classes, as well as Master Shifter and all of the junior divisions. And, well, as they get set to go out for their round of warm-ups, we're going to send it down to pit lane to Caleb Vieska and Alexander Searle, who will bring you all the action from right down at the racetrack.
Good morning, you guys. I mean, the energy here trackside has been incredible all weekend long. Goosebumps thinking about how the weekend's going to be, Alex.
Yeah, Caleb, I mean, the energy around the paddock from yesterday to today, I mean, it's been unbelievable. Even Thursday, right? This is about as excited as I've seen a karting paddock since, Las Vegas Super Nationals, maybe even more of a level. So overall, this is going to be an incredible weekend of racing. We're in for a treat with the pro show on Sunday as well. So I cannot wait, Caleb.
Yeah, definitely. We can't wait. But we're going to have to wait a little bit before we go on track as we take a quick word from our sponsors.
Brandon, why are there all these charges for just over $200 from Acceleration Kart Racing's website?
That's because AKR gives you free shipping on orders of $200 or more within the continental US.
Okay, but I thought you were just getting a pair of gloves. That's what, $70?
But if I'm getting a new pair of gloves, I might as well get a new pair of shoes to match. And then on top of that, I'll get a neck brace because with the shipping, it's basically free.
Yeah, I do not think the math checks out on that.
Everything you need, all in one place and shipped to your door for free for orders of $200 or more. Exclusions apply. Spend responsibly. Shop AKR.com.
I'm David Serra, 18-time Australian karting champion, and we're launching Kart Class. Kart Class is an advanced digital training program that suits a driver who's just starting out in the sport, all the way to the driver looking to win a national championship. In this program, you're going to be learning about how to find the ideal racing line and what an apex is, braking and throttle markers, wet weather racing lines, and how to overtake other competitors. We target how to brake in the wet weather, And we look on the mental side of kart racing as well with our mental skills coach. At the completion of this program, you'll be lighting up purple sectors in qualifying, know when to defend on the opening laps, and how to pressure your opposition into mistakes. We teach you the tools to be resilient and how to get in the right frame of mind before a race. We look to complete the whole package by getting a strong mindset, a driving style to suit all conditions, strategizing your race, and getting the last 1% from your team. We'll teach you how to win the final lap of a race, driving the wet like Max Verstappen, and creating the perfect bubble for yourself to mentally be in the zone. To find out more, click the link below.
Welcome back here to Orlando Kart Center as we get set to get things underway with morning warm-up. You can see the catwalk has started to fill up for the SuperKarts USA Pro Tour, and that's not a surprise at all considering the fact that there is a massive turnout of KA100 juniors, one of many classes that will be split into two groups for qualifying later on this morning. And it's a quick turnaround for it to go from the scuffed tires that most will be on right now onto the new tires. Now, in final practice yesterday, that's how they were split into groups. And surprise, surprise, our quickest driver, who has had a rocket ship of a start to 2024, is Diego Ardiles. He was quickest by just a tenth over Jackson Wolney, Salvador de la Vecchia, Enzo Vidmontien, and Sebastian Garzone. Henry?
Yeah, 49 drivers in this class. There are 15 different chassis represented by 20 different teams. Yeah, Ardiles starting the year very strong. There is a look at Enzo Vidmontien from the Trinity Karting Group. His team boss, Sean Bailiff, was one of our guests on last night's live Grid Talk show, which we filmed here in the paddock, and I would highly recommend you go and watch that back after today's racing, of course. But yeah, Enzo Vidmontien, we expect Enzo to be very, very strong. Also, drivers to look out for, you can see the 814 car, that's Javier Herrera going out early in this group. Other names to look out for, you've got Max Weiland, the Magic Kart driver. He'll be looking to get that breakthrough first win. It almost happened for him at Homestead during the last round of the Winter Series, but 5 minutes of warm-up set to begin very, very shortly. And you can see that the last couple of neck braces going on. Engines are fired, Xander Clements. We had official practice yesterday, but this is the moment where the 2024, as we just clean some of the dust off the circuit. It was a little bit windy this morning. You see green flag, turn number 1. Expect a lot of action there. Here, as you can see, the 814 kart, or 841 kart rather, package this morning. But yesterday, Alex Searle and Caleb Jeska, our pit reporters, they were in and around the paddock continuously speaking to drivers in all the semi-pro classes. And one driver, double duty this year, but in this class, number 836. It has been one heck of a start to 2024 for Turner Brown.
All right, Turner. First of all, I got to start off with, you're going to be a, we should switch your title to World Traveler, right? Because this year you're going to be representing the U.S. in the CIK Academy and the Rotax Finals. I mean, what's that going to be like going into the rest of the year?
You know, I never really traveled overseas for a race, but I'm super, super excited. It means the world to me that I've been chosen by Team USA to go out and represent them, and I mean, it really is a big accomplishment for me, and I'm super excited, and it's an honor, a true honor to travel the world and represent my nation and my sport, so I'm really excited.
Not only are you traveling across seas, you traveled across the grid here a little bit. Now under RPG, I mean, talk to me, what has the transition been like, and have they welcomed you with open arms?
I mean, RPG, they have welcomed me so much. I mean, they have provided everything that I need, engines. I mean, it is amazing there. They've welcomed me amazingly, and I can't thank them enough. They've done so much for me this weekend already, and let's go chase some wins on Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, unofficial practice yesterday, practice today so far. I mean, what's the kart been like underneath you? And I mean, do you feel like you got a good piece for this weekend? I'm really confident with my piece. The team has provided me really well, and yeah, I'm really excited. And I think we should have a great piece to contend for the win in both classes.
Thank you, Turner.
No problem.
So there was Turner Brown, and you can see Turner Brown on our ticket, third fast at the moment, and he's got plenty of new RPG friends all around him. Peyton Westcott, Diego Ardiles, Comadieros, and Asif Kapadia Basu. 5 RPG drivers in the top 6. The lone speed concepts entry of Jackson Walney is leading the way at the moment. Now you can see Nathan Dupuy in the 841 kart. Getting plenty of overtaking practice in, and traffic is going to be an issue already with 49 karts on the circuit at once. And you can see Nathan Dupuy showing his disapproval at being run a little bit wide. Now we did see one driver, Arthur Barber, the French Sony Kart USA driver, off the side of the circuit. His kart halfway down Scrapyard Straight, soon to be rechristened Bamboo Straight, as you said. But yeah, Turner Brown, fantastic start to the season, and really showed what a great honour it is for him to be representing Team USA, both in the Rotax Grand Finals, but also for the CIK FIA Academy.
Yeah, super cool opportunity to have him go over there, and you know, we've had already an American champion in it once. That guy's done pretty good for himself since. Of course, Connor Zilish, the most recent Rolex 24 Hours champion. He was once an FIA Academy champion as well in his maiden year over there. So hopefully Turner Brown can bring home the gold for the second time in a decade for the Stars and Bars. It's a really cool opportunity for us, especially on a completely separate continent, to go race against some of the stars of Europe on you know, a very, very level playing field that is the FIA Academy. They randomize the engines. They give you a set cart for the season. Everyone's on the same exact equipment. You show up, and it's very akin to the likes of the Rotax Grand Finals and everything else in between, where the driver is you know, meant to be the one that matters the most. Right now, the quickest driver, though, as we watch the checkered flag begin to fly, Jackson Wolney, 56.247 for the SCR Red Speed. We saw him coming out of turn number 9 that time. He was leading a group at the moment, and I think he'll just be coming out of the final turn now. There you see top of your screen. He's on that black and white Red Speed for Speed Concepts Racing. We saw Jackson last week in the Pro Kart Invitational hosted by Ryan Norberg. Got a lot of on-track driver coaching with Austin Garrison. Seems to have paid off. He's quickest here at the end of morning warm-up for KA100 Junior from what we can tell so far.
Now, obviously, the 50 drivers in this class will be split for qualifying, but we've only got one grid for the pre-final and final. In the words of the late, great Chris Economaki, the doyen of American motorsport journalism, we are going to let them all go in the pre-finals and the finals. So traffic is going to be key. Qualifying, you can see there, looking down the order, you'll notice a couple of big names down the bottom. Qualifying is going to be critical.
And a quick change there as it set your updates. Enzo Vidmontien ends up quickest over Ardiles and Westcott. Let's go to pit lane. Here, K100 Senior getting ready to get underway with Caleb Viesca and Alex Searle.
Yeah, thank you, Xander. Here trackside with Fernando Luque. Hey, Fernando, happiest yesterday in happy hour. Describe me how yesterday went for you.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good session. We were the fastest and the package is good, so we're looking good for today.
Sounds good. Well, best of luck today, as we're going to let him lock in so he can get set and go on track.
Yeah, and again, this is something new that we are going to be able to bring you. The semi-pro and pro show format, it allows us to get up close and personal with more drivers in the semi-pro divisions. You know, Caleb Viesca there speaking to the number 975 kart of Fernando Luque, literally seconds before he goes out on to the circuit. And that's the type of coverage that we're going to be bringing you this year at the Pro Show. You know, more storylines. You've got 258 drivers. There's Finnegan Bailiff. No, are we going to be able to speak to all 258 during the weekend? No, but we're going to bring you a lot more. And there's Carter Thompson, the new Trinity Kart Group graphics kit that Sean Bailiff talked about there. The green and grey on stripes on those karts. 40 drivers in KA100 You saw on our graphics kit there the age range, the specification of the karts in there is Mr. Ferris. That is the Team Ferris Racing kart of Connor Ferris. And again, 40 drivers, 12 different chassis, 24 teams on this grid. That to me Zan, that shows the strength in depth of American karting. You've got 24 different operations running karts.
Yeah, you have a massive paddock here with a lot of different colors and a lot of different rigs. And the coolest part is they're all different sizes, but at the end of the day, all the karts are homologated to the same. They're all in the, for everything minus Pro Shifter, the exact same engine, just tuned or slightly built differently. So once they get onto the grid, you can't tell the difference of who rolled out of an 18-wheeler and who pulled their go-kart out of the back of a pickup truck.
Exactly. Now there's Cameron White coming back to karting after spending a year playing baseball. Cameron, Cameron's the only karting he had. She's not actually Cameron's nan. She was, first of all, the Weinberg family said, oh, you can come into the house, yes. And then they were like, oh, what's this go-karting malarkey about? So she is now there. You know, I did say to Cameron, I said, well, you know, you've got to cook and clean. If the nanny's going to be doing the spannering for you, so you've got to return the favour and do some of the housework. But again, great stories that now we can shine a light on Cameron and his younger brother Carson Weinberg, who is here as well, the Chad Docken Racing driver.
And that is one of those smaller up-and-coming teams, including a privateer sensation in Anthony Rivera on your screen right now in the 921. Doesn't even have necessarily the factory suit for the Kart Republic go-kart, but he was fast in his handful of starts over the last year. In fact, cracked the top 10 in Homestead. He's now with the CDR group as well, so two fast drivers getting ready to get underway for Chad Docken Racing. And behind him, Sodi Racing USA burst onto the scene last year with a bunch of signees, including Harley Keeble. Their newest driver they brought into the fold, into the developmental ranks, is Steven Eisert. He's leading the way in the semi-pro senior categories for them. Got a podium, I believe, at the end of the Rock Winter Tour, and was starting to get close at the end of Homestead, Miami. There's Alex Feldstein in the Host Driver Development Tony Kart. He's got a team owner and team leader Nick Terlecki later today in X30 Pro. But how about this here for the old guys? Mario Barrios. He's tired of just racing the Masters. He wants to go down and race the heavyweights in KA100 Senior. So kudos to him.
Yep.
He'll be flying the flag for all the veterans here this weekend.
So we talk about double duty, and he's doing double duty in Masters and Seniors, I believe. There is Landon Cardwell on the Lando Norris kart. I have to say, Landon Cardwell, his mullet game is strong.
We go further back on down the grid to find a few more drivers. Here's Lydia Small, the number 951 Sodi Racing USA machine. This is all the way at the back because we're still not even to the back of the lineup, but the back of the grid because there are so many go-karts here in this division. How about this one? The 902, Colin Lloyd, one spot shy of a national championship last year. He's hungry and ready for more with the Interim S boys.
Mentioned Lydia Small, one of two lady drivers in this field. The other is Autumn Fisher. And Autumn Fisher is part of the only all-female combo here. She is the driver of the number 967 TB car. It's a Villeneuve chassis. And her mechanic, Talitha Tarr. They are the only all-female combo here in the paddock, and I hope it's not going to be the only female combo for long, but that is something that is really important. That there they are, you can see with the pink crash helmet there. There's Talitha at the side there. She's doing the mechanicking. Autumn, still her first season in the sport. Girl power to the fore.
Yeah, and she has had a busy year. She started off, or she's been underway between the SKUSA Winter Series and the Rotax Trophy West Championship. Already 4 to 5 weekends of action for Autumn Fisher and her younger brother Ty, who we'll see on the racetrack in X30 and K100 Junior later on. But a very busy season, a lot of seat time, and that's exactly what you need to be doing if you're trying to continue to develop your career. Across the way from her, James Overbeck has been so impressive to watch in this K100 Senior category over the last year and a half since moving up. And he really seemed to step things up a notch with the BJR MDR boys back in Homestead, was contending for race wins and podiums and running at the front. I spoke with the team data analyst, Austin Miles, earlier this weekend. He said, James, it was a bit, heartbreaking that he didn't get the result that he felt like he could have at the SKUSA Winter Series in Homestead. But at the end of the day, they knew he was there, and a big smile came across his face as Dad said, well, that's when he drives better, when that confidence comes through. So hopefully a driver who is already a 4-cycle national champion in the 206 class, the entry-level division for everyone into this sport, with its own major national race that just concluded last weekend in Charlotte Motor Speedway. But for James, the foray into the next level, the faster 100cc categories, I think this could be a breakout year for him. So the first few drivers are two big names that have been into the class for a couple of years now, Vinny Miskellis and Connor Ferris. And we'll get a good idea of how everybody shakes out as they begin this session. And while they begin it, let's also take a moment here to hear from one of our other KA100 stars, Blake Nash, who we've seen for a lot in the Pro X30 category over the last few seasons, has dropped down into the 100cc ranks once again. He's on track this weekend in this 40-car grid. Let's hear from him.
Nash, Blake, I mean, good seeing you back out of the track again, right? A couple outings so far. It seems like you're at a racetrack every single weekend. What's it like, coming here to back to the SKUSA Pro Tour, a super stacked field in K100 Senior?
Yeah, I mean, it's fun. There's always, really good competition at the series, and, I took a little bit of a break from KA. That's generally where I came from. I took a 2-year break to go run X30 and see where I stacked up, but I'm happy to be back and get back to where I came from, and I'm having a blast.
Yeah, and talk to me a little bit about the differences, right? Like you said, you're running X30, running with all the pro guys, running up front as well in that class. I mean, what's it like being back in the KA class? Like you told me a little bit before this, having a little more fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a different driving style. The tire's a lot different. Obviously, it's a lot harder, so you can't you don't have the grip that you have with the soft tire. So you have to be a little bit careful with how much speed you're rolling in the corner, because you can't get away with how much speed you say you would be able to roll with an X30. So it's definitely a little bit different. You don't have the torque off the bottom that you get with an X30, so you have to be a little bit more smooth. But yeah, it's a fun new challenge. I feel like I just needed something different. I was running X30 every week, so I'm having fun with this.
Sounds good. I mean, lastly here, right, pace-wise, you guys seem pretty strong in that last session. I mean, talk to me about the pace going into this weekend, right? It's 2 races for you this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Just talk to me a little bit about the pace and what you guys are missing here.
Yeah, the pace has been pretty good. We have a lot of drivers under Nash right now, so we've been able to test a lot of different things. That last session, I tried a completely different setup from everybody else to see if we could try to find more, and it wasn't great, but I ended up, just like leading the whole pack behind me. So there was some people behind me going really fast. But I think our pace on our own is pretty good, and that's kind of what you want, right? You're going to be, if you're leading a race, you're going to be out in front. So I think I'm going to go back to what we kind of know and what we were fast with earlier on today and yesterday, and we should be good for the week.
Sounds good. Well, best of luck.
Thank you.
Cool to hear from Blake Nash. We'll see if we can't find him on the racetrack later on. For now, though, we're focused on this group that has been pretty quick to start the session. Cameron Weinberg, Fernando Luque, who was quick in final practice yesterday on that Super Tuned Tony kart, Connor Ferris, and Anthony Rivera. And right now they are right around the top of the charts for most of this session as the ticker continues to update. A 58.82 for Cameron Weinberg. But the warm-up session we know is only going to get better and better. It got down to a 56.92 for Luque last time by. That leaderboard will update momentarily, but it's over back to Miskellis. And now a little change at the top of the boards, and I think it might have gone the way of Ferris to second and Luque to the top. So this is your fastest group on the racetrack right now here in warm-up for KA100 Senior on circuit. It is that purple and white Super Tuned Tony kart of Fernando Luque, the senior sophomore, through the sweeper.
Now, of course, you're looking at the ticker is going away very briefly there, but a name that was near the top of the ticker a few moments ago dropped down a little bit now to 16th position. That's the Ryan Perry Motorsport kart of Peyton Phillips. And Peyton has 2000 World Karting Champion Colin Brown mechanicking for him. And yesterday, Colin actually gave Peyton his crash helmet to race with. And that crash helmet, well, Colin Brown beat Lewis Hamilton in karting. Now is numerous years of karting expertise. Peyton Phillips, the Ryan Perry Motorsport team, have got the expertise of that. Another driver as a checkered flag comes out, not featuring too much at the front of the grid, but of course he's the KA seniors. A lot of these drivers, Anders, they would have started out in micro, in mini, in juniors. Pierce Jaso for the Speed Concepts racing team. He's just turned 16, but he jumped into karting last year straight into seniors. And I was speaking to Pierce and his mechanic last night, and they said that, if he does well this year, the mechanic might even sponsor his ride. So there we go. Luque, Lloyd, Ferris, Isert, and Overbeck are the top 5, but engines are fired. I think we'll go back down to pit lane very quickly.
No, not yet.
There we go. Take it away, Alex.
Thank you, guys. Here with Win Godshock. Win, fastest and happy hour. You got to feel pretty good about that. I mean, just walk me through your day yesterday. All right, thank you, buddy, and good luck here in warm-up and then qualifying later today.
Well, there's a word from Win Godshock. Win and his younger brother Zev, they live in Curacao. They're the only drivers here representing Curacao on the circuit. 36 drivers in Micro Swift, 11 different chassis, 17 different teams.
Yeah, quite a bit of a spread here in the Mini Swift division. Here's a look further back down the rest of the grid. Let's take a look. There's Micro Swift, Zane Burgess on the Sodi Racing USA machine, who dominated the SKUSA Winter Series. It looks like Alex is setting up to chat with him as well. Alex?
Yeah, thanks, guys. Here with Zane Burgess. Zane, Winter Series champion, P2 and happy hour. How are you feeling into qualifying and how we warm up today?
Very good.
What is it going to take to get that pole position?
The time.
All right, thank you, Zane. Good luck.
Thanks.
Yeah, the Jamaican sensation locked in. You can see the flag on the front of it. And I know Stan Kevin says there's a whole host of people in Jamaica watching the broadcast. So hello, Kingston. Kingston Town. Hello, and I know it's great to see a whole nation getting behind one of their stars. Yeah, half American, half Jamaican, and yeah, it's Alex Powell for a long time has been Jamaica's main racing hope. Well, Alex has got company now with Zane Burgess. This is Micro Swift, the youngest drivers, aged, well, not between 9 and 13. The youngest driver here.
Little mistake by the graphic
That's
crew.
okay. That's not a problem. You know, Team Social have been working incredibly hard at Kart Chaser. Yeah, the youngest driver is just 7. Alex is speaking to Leo Simoni.
Thank you, guys. Here with Leo Simone. Leo, top 10 there in happy hour. What's it going to take to find that extra bit of time here coming up in qualifying later today? Awesome. And one more thing. Talk to me about how your day went yesterday, because I think it was a pretty good day for you. All right, thank you, buddy. Good luck.
That was Leo Simoni. Now, we'll have a little look there. So the youngest 2 drivers on this grid are Franco Schiavo and number 295, Kaysen Sanders, 7 years old, from Bakersfield, California. There's Kaysen Sanders. Look how tiny he is. The pedal extensions at the front of the fuel tank. He is pint size. He's half a pint.
Brandon, you got me?
That there, but he's got a great big smile on his face. I said to him yesterday, look, there are 36 drivers on this grid. You know, look at the difference between the normal Praga pedals for velocity racing and where Kaysen is. He is tiny. If Kart,
you want the
can also
295?
go into being a jockey as well. But again, family from Bakersfield,
Brandon,
California. They're here. It's just going to have some fun. We're here to have fun. And that is what it is all about. But yes, you know, 7 years old. Alex Searle's going to give him his first ever interview. Take it away.
Talk about your day, okay? Thanks, guys. Here with Kaysen Sanders. Kaysen, first of all, I want to show the foot positioning here on this go-kart because it is incredible to see. I don't think he's taller than a dinner table in a living room. So, Kaysen, I mean, talk to me about how your day went yesterday and what's it like being, you know, one of the youngest on the grid.
Wow. Kaysen Sanders, 7 years old, doing his first ever interview as the engines are fired. And I mean, it's great to be able to speak to tomorrow's stars, the youngest members of the paddock. Yes, I know some of the audio may be a little quiet while we're getting the microphones into the crash helmets, but it is a valuable insight. These young drivers are getting more media experience than ever before this year. And for any young driver, getting used to being comfortable around the media, being comfortable around the microphones, that is key. Oh dear. And you've got to get a bit comfortable getting on the track, as there's been a little bit of a traffic jam coming out onto the circuit. The Orlando Kart Center track staff there. So now we get everybody out on circuit. You know, it's a big day for these young drivers. There are several drivers in their first ever race out of Kid Kart here. There's Kason Sanders, and the number 228 kart going a little bit slowly. That's Lawrence Perryman. The Mike Doty Racing, Brandon Jarzakrak Racing entered driver. His warm-up, well, it's tepid, not warm, shall we say.
Let's let the rest of them get out there. Hopefully he can get back going, but that may be it for Lawrence Perriman. That'll be the yellow flags flying. Well, the rest of the field's already headed around on the back straightaway to start their laps. Let's go side by side. Well, one driver we did not hear from on the grid, but we did hear from yesterday with Alexander Searle, was Lennox Lockhart, his first ever U.S. national race with PSL karting.
First micro race with the PSL guys, right? I had the privilege of coaching you all last year in the Bricks Cadet class over there in AMR. What's it been like in this transition to micro?
For my first time, it's for my first national race. It's exciting for a good team to race on. I'll be happy. I'm happy to be on this team.
Awesome. Now expectations, right? You had some testing here a few weeks ago. You're back here now. You've been up front over there in practice. I mean, where's your head at going into this weekend?
I'm looking forward to get into the top 10 for the race through Saturday to Sunday. I'm ready to go fast. I'm ready to catch everybody to get in the lead.
Thank you, buddy.
No problem.
Well, there we go. And Xander, I've got to say, I think that you look excellent with some Lennox Lockhart style cornrows. I don't think enough red-haired people have cornrows in the karting industry.
Henry, we haven't even gotten to 9 in the morning already, and we are starting this lunacy, all right? Let's focus back on the actual superstars of this session so far, and that are these 7 to 10-year-olds on the racetrack in Micro Swift. Liam Nachawati, quickest driver so far, as we are about 3 minutes in, 2 minutes to go. Although, check that. Move him back there as he goes by in the 280. It is now Santiago Orioli who burst onto the scene in Homestead, Miami on the Orioli Kart Performance MPG Motorsports machine. He's back here, and we talked about some of the size of the tents and teams and operations. Well, Orioli Kart Performance, the father-son team, they have one other customer client under the tent with them, and that's it. It's a pop-up 10x20 and a little box truck. So very cool for Santiago to be quickest so far, and quickest by a lot. 3 tenths right now, as you can see the ticker populate on the left-hand side.
There's 243 kart, Sterling Mulata, but of course, yeah, going back to Orioli, he is a driver that came within inches of winning the SKUSA Winter Series. Just lost out to Zane Burgess. But one other little thing, at the podium presentation, Zane's dad and Santi's dad were standing together, and they were both smiling, saying it was a great pleasure, you know, so if we're going to look forward to race these, our boys are going to race together for many, many years to come. I'm sure they're both going to take wins, and it was a really nice sporting moment between the victor and the vanquished.
Yeah, very, very classy from both of them. Two very upbeat and positive fathers as well, who are raising some very, very bright superstars on and off the racetrack. Now, with that said, while the ticker will update again, Orioli has been bumped. It is Liam Nachawati back on top over Zane Burgess. So Zane's now worked his way up into the top couple spots. Nachawati, you can see on screen, catching a little traffic, and this will be right around the final lap. 4.5 minutes in, it's a 5-minute warm-up. They'll be on the bubble of whether or not they get one more time by the start-finish line, so we'll wait to see if they do as they round that final turn and head down the front straightaway. A few more times will populate further down the leaderboard as well.
Yeah, Lennox Lockhart up into the top 6, just in front of Leo Simoni. So it's Nachawati, then Win Gottschalk in the number 225 car on your screen there, the Bennett chassis from Curacao. We spoke to Win briefly on the dummy grid. Then you've got Orioli, Burgess, Nachawati, and then you've got... There's always one or two standout drivers that come in their first season at the national level that burst onto the scene. And, okay, it's only warm-up. And Lennox Lockhart into the top 10.
Yeah, very impressive from Lennox Lockhart to move up there into what has now been bumped to the 8th spot, it looks like here. Nachawati, quickest, still waiting on a few more to cross the timing loop and cycle through on the ticker. So Nachawati to Godshock, Burgess, Orioli, Leo Simone, your top 5 have not changed as the final few cross the start-finish line. No swaps there, and the last few will cross as well. It will end with Liam Nachawati on top of the boards here as that fast group crosses, I believe. No! Zane Burgess and Orioli quickly at the last second. That fast group just crossed by the timing loop. Santiago Orioli, a 101.144. Fastest now. Burgess, Nachawati, Godshock, and Nolan Carney 5th. Still hanging on to that 8th spot as Lennox Lockhart in his Superkarts USA, just generic U.S. national debut. So congratulations to Lennox for a very positive start to his day in a packed house, Microsoft field of 36 drivers. Let's go down to pit lane and hear from more as we get set for the next group. It is, I believe, time for X30 Junior. Let's go to Caleb.
Thank you, Xander. I'm here trackside with Diego Ardiles as he gets set to go out on track for his first warm-up session. Diego, yesterday you were the fastest in happy hour. Just describe me how yesterday went for you.
It went pretty good on both classes. I want to drive by my own so I can see how fast I was without the reference, and I pushed every lap, and the time was pretty good at the end.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm looking around here. You have a lot of RPG teammates around you. I mean, describe me what that's like, having a lot of teammates that are also quick.
Yeah, especially Turner. He's a great driver and a great person. We've been learning a lot from each other, and for me, it's a pleasure to have him as a teammate.
There you go. Diego Ardiles feeling good about the teammates around him.
There we go. Thank you, Caleb Jeska, and thank you to Diego Ardiles. Not the largest junior X30 grid, 21 drivers, but still 11 teams and 9 different chassis manufacturers. Drivers from the USA, Canada, Chinese Taipei, and the island of Taiwan, Paraguay, Mexico, Brazil, Costa Rica as well. There is the number 737 car, David Ramirez. And Edward Kennedy. Now, let's have a look. 12 to 15 years old. That is the X30 Junior. And there's a little spec sheet there. Jackson Walney, the Speed Concepts driver, up at the front of the grid. He, again, was fast this morning. But Caleb Jeska is going to get a chance to chat with Jackson Walney.
In a happy hour, describe me how yesterday went for you.
Yesterday we were pretty quick all day. We were like first in most of the sessions, and happy hour we didn't really have a clean lap, so I think we had the pace though.
Yeah, so you're saying pace is there. What strategy going into qualifying later today?
Just get a clean track and just run them down, go as hard as I can. So, yeah.
Sounds good. Well, we're gonna go back to your teammate here, Sarah Bradley. Sarah, good day for you yesterday. We talked to you a little bit. Describe me how yesterday went for you.
I think we still have a little bit of work to do, but I mean, a P6, it's definitely something we can work from, and I'm not too worried at all. I think today we can definitely work from that and go up.
Well, sounds good. Thank you very much. As the engines come to life here, and we're going to send it back up to you guys on the booth.
Thank you, Caleb. And there we go, that last second shot from Sarah Bradley. We'll hear from her a little more in depth once we get the session underway, but those black and white Speed Concepts Racing Red Speeds looking to lead us onto the racetrack here, Henry.
Yeah, and again, only 21 drivers, but very, very talented. I mean, you look back at Homestead, the Winter Series. Alexander Vonchev coming from outside the top 20 to podium, or even podium to podium in that. Cole Medeiros, Chase Castillo-Lee, Edward Kennedy, Max Weiland, Jinhao Chang, Jose Halfen, Ramirez, Fisher, Dupuis, Makovskis, Makarin, Bradley, Rodriguez, Brown, Victor de Alencar, Matias Romalo, Alan Bonilla, Diego Ardiles. it could be, you've got 15 or 16 of those drivers that are going to be contending for victories. It's going to be so critical time qualifying because, the level of talent at the front. Okay, we haven't got many, how should we say, also-rans, but we've got the front running pack is stacked.
Yeah, I mean, you've got pretty much every major contender for the KA Junior class. Scrub out Sebastian Garzon and Enzo Vidmontienne, and they're all here. And this is just a little bit higher caliber, a little bit faster speed, a little more horsepower to mess with. The kart's got to be even more dialed. You saw the stat sheet earlier on from the screen for the X30 Juniors. The only difference from them to the Pro X30s, about 40 more pounds, 45, or I believe actually 40 more pounds to be exact. And then they lose the restrictor, but then they also go to the softer of the two Avinco compounds. Now, we switched over. It's an homologation year for tires, so it's a brand new tire compound that is slowly being transitioned here to the States. The harder of the two compounds was introduced at Homestead, Miami. The softer compound will be introduced mid-season for the Pro Shifter, Pro X30, and Master Shifter boys and girls at Cincinnati. So the midpoint of the season will have a brand new tire for them. These kids have had 2 full race weekends now on these tires, plus some testing on their own to figure things out as we watch Ty Fisher and Nathan Dupuis in his new colors this weekend with Super Tune headed down to the final chicane.
Yeah, new team, this weekend, a new team at Homestead for Nathan Dupuis. Now, on the grid, Caleb caught up with Sarah Bradley. We also caught up with a potential breakout star, in my opinion, Sarah Bradley, yesterday.
All right, Sarah, I mean, a couple of podiums for you, right, this year so far in the National Series, but haven't gotten your first win yet, right? What do you need to do to try and get on that top step?
There's a couple of things I definitely need to work on. I mean, I think I'm pretty close, on the physical stuff. I'm quick on driving. I think just need to work on maybe some starts and stuff to get there.
So, I mean, you said race starts, right? Was the biggest thing that I guess you needed to work on. But, shifting focus a little bit, who are your main rivals coming into this weekend, right? Because it's a very stacked field in the across the junior classes. So, I mean, who are you looking out for this weekend?
I think I'm really looking over, next door. He's been winning pretty much all year. That's kind of the main one to beat for everyone.
And like you said, right? So working for your breakout win. What would it mean to get that this weekend?
That would mean a lot. It's something I've needed for a long time, and I think to walk away with that would feel really good.
Yeah, well, best of luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Sarah Bradley was referring to Turner Brown when she said we need to look next door to the RPG tent. He's been winning all year. She won't even say his name, but again, that's not because they don't like each other. That is because that it's just they know that Turner Brown is on a roll, but he's certainly not going to have things all his own way. How are things looking on the ticker, on the timing screens, Xander?
Well, right now, David Ramirez is the quickest of the Rawlson Performance Group camp. On screen is the 707, and they've got a big contingent of a lot of ones. That's Cole Medeiros coming out of the final turn onto the front stretch. Here's Alexander Vanchev just behind him. One of the many drivers, the junior drivers that went into the Norberg Pro Kart Invitational Summit Pro event, raced their way into the event to race for $10,000 in the final stage. $20,000 on that cash purse. Vanchev was involved in the Zanella Racing Tony Kart colors, and he's back into the junior ranks this weekend. Double duty for him, I believe, between X30 Junior and KA Junior, like the majority of this division. And Vanchev right now a little bit further down the boards than where he'd probably like to be. But right now it is 6th for the Zanella Racing 706.
Now, of course, you're looking at that camera shot there coming through the turn 7, 8, and 9 complex. And now that's a new camera angle for this weekend. It does give you a fantastic view of, number one, how high the curbs are, and number two, how much the drivers have got to use the curbs to put in a quick lap time. So yeah, you could see the drivers working hard physically. Yeah, you have to be fit as a fiddle to drive one of these karts. And of course, we'll get to the pro show later on, but the length of the races in the pro show are certainly, but look at this there, you can see over the curbs, no suspension, and again, not everybody uses the curb, but you do need to use the curb if you're on the right line there. And look at that was the 7, that was the 7 Ardiles, using the curb to actually turn the kart, to rotate the kart. If you hit the curb at the wrong angle, it spits you across the track on the right. great shot there. These young athletes are really, that's why they all, to a man, woman, boy, child, wear the rib protectors.
And on screen now, Turner Brown leading this group. You heard from him earlier during the KA Junior Division with his new home and how welcome he's already felt with Rawlson Performance Group. How is he going to do here at the end of warm-up? He's 4th at the drop of the checkered flag. Make it 5th to Sarah Bradley. She said the kid next door is the one she's got her eye on. Well, she just nipped him here in the warm-up session, went to 5th. Cole Medeiros went to 4th, moves Brown back to 6th. But quickest is really our fastest kid from all 4 rounds of Homestead Miami. Diego Ardiles was top of the charts every single weekend. Didn't get a win at all 4 rounds. He did get a win at some, but he seems to be the one that everyone's chasing. 2.5 tenths of a second right now for Diego Ardiles over the rest of the field. That is a massive margin over the rest of the pack here in X30 Junior while the Masters get set to go. So congratulations to Diego Ardiles. That's a fantastic start to his Saturday morning by nearly 3 tenths of a second. So let's go down here. It looks like already engines are firing for Master Shifter and KA Master. So quickly from one to the next there, no pickups in that one. We're a little bit behind the 8 ball on schedule, just by about 3 minutes. We'll catch back up here, I believe, just with this session alone, as long as all the veterans keep all the nuts and bolts on their carts. And this is the closest thing to sports car racing and mixed class racing that we will probably ever see, at least as we on the event calendar we have right now for Kart Chaser. A 6-speed gearbox class in Master Shifter and a single-speed 100cc 22 horsepower, half the horsepower and a sixth of the gears for the KA Masters.
Yeah, and like Alex was sitting next to Luis Quinones's factory cart and then very sensibly, I think, got out of the way. But there are some real characters in this field, and we spoke to one of them yesterday, the one, the only, Skitchy Barnes.
You do a lot of coaching over there. I mean, what's that been like? And talk to me about that whole deal, coaching those kids over there in Bermuda and trying to bring them over here into karting in America.
Yeah, it's been good, man. As anyone knows, kids are the future of the sport. If you don't have a strong junior program in a small club like Bermuda, you don't have a future. So got 2 girls that came on board my team last year, doing great, learning, trying to coach them up. We actually adopted another 12-year-old kid this year, so we got 3 under the tent this year, and it's been good, man. It's been fun to give back to the kids and watch them develop and get faster and faster, and it's cool. I like it.
And talk to us about your history, right? I mean, what got you into karting, and what got you into coaching all these young kids over there in Bermuda?
So I got into karting. My dad bought me a fun kart when I was like 10 years old to drive around the yard, and I loved it. And then Bermuda Karting Club started back up when I was like 11, and I tried it out, and I just loved it, man. Fell in love with the sport. So we adopted 2 little girls last year to our camp and started coaching them up, and it's been fun to see them to grow and develop in the cadet junior program back home. Anyone in the sport knows, especially in a small club like Bermuda, you got to have a youth program, a junior program. Without a junior program, you don't really have a future. So it's been cool to teach these kids. We actually got another kid that joined the camp this year, so we have 3 little juniors under our camp. And it's just been fun giving back, teaching them everything I can, and watching them get faster and faster.
Talk to me about this. A lot of drivers would love to be doing what you're doing right now, helping the younger generation grow. I mean, what got you into that?
Yeah, so I started karting when I was like 11 or 12 years old, and then I got lucky enough to have a mentor take me under his wing when I was like 15 or 16 and teach me the ropes, show me karting. And, I got to the point in my career in Bermuda where I've done enough, and I want to give back to the juniors. And, I got these kids that I'm able to teach now, and it's cool to be able to use all my years of racing and teach them something that I know and watch them develop and get faster, man. So it's fun. It's been fun watching them get faster.
All right, one more thing here. Shifting our mindset now this weekend. Pro Tour, one of the biggest events we've had in recent memory here in American karting. I mean, where's your head at going into this weekend after, a Winter Series championship?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, I want to win, and we come here to win. Changing teams this year, coming from the Magic to the Maranello. Grateful for the opportunity that these guys have given me. And it's been 2 years since we won the Pro Tour, but we've been running the national stuff for the last couple of years, so we feel like we should be there in the mix. 10 fast guys in the class, so obviously we got 2 fast teammates in Joe Ruck and Chatfield, so we're going to be looking to maybe do a 1, 2, 3 on the podium and see where we end up at the end of the weekend.
Thank you, Skitchy.
Thanks, guys.
And Skitchy Barnes wasn't the only driver that we were able to chat with here earlier in the weekend as we were watching him on screen. His teammate, like you said, pretty quick. Skitchy was top early. Now it is Joe Rook. But with a minute to go here, we also were able to chat with the Magic Kart K100 master in Tom Gerstner earlier this weekend.
Wow, I'm not. So, we did speak to the ageless wonder, Tom Gerstner, the oldest driver here, 67 years old. However, Tom's sense of humor precluded us. I mean, the man, we could not stop laughing. And outrage, I mean, funny. So, unfortunately, that interview will be shown at some point with maybe the Kart Chaser outtakes, because Tom Gerstner, if the funniest interview ever, but we will play that at another occasion. Let's have a quick look at the time as the checkered flag goes down.
Michael Gouache with a very impressive final lap on that SRP Maranello, 53.208 for him. Nipped Skitchy by a tenth of a second. Then Joe Ruck third. And indeed, it's a 1-2-3, not in the order Skitchy initially thought. Chatfield, their teammate, a little further down the leaderboard. But Gouache, Barnes, and Joe Ruck for the Maranello Kart Company. 1, 2, 3. Yao Carlos Fregonesi and Juan Pablo Rico. And then the quickest of the K Masters, Mario Barrios, just barely over Charlie Fonseca. Let's go back down to pit lane here for our final warm-up session of the morning with Mini Swift here. Alex?
Thank you, Xander. Real quick before these mini kids get out on the racetrack here with Alessandro Truchot, P2 and warm-up. Describe your day to me and how you're feeling heading into today.
Feeling quite good. So we got a pretty good happy hour yesterday. We were quite close to the P1. So we have the speed, and I think we can do good for qualifying today.
All right, thank you and good luck.
Thank you.
Kudos to Ale here as the engines were fired. You saw even the cart behind him. Wasn't sure if Ale was going to get back into the seat, but he was kind enough to chat with us right before getting into his pole position motorsports Paralympic. You talk about a world traveler. He has racked up more miles than probably any other driver in the paddock here. Back and forth to Italy for himself, for Rocco Simone as well, and back to the States here for as much racing as he can muster, both stateside and over in Europe. And it's very cool to have the Miami, Florida native, the American and French dual citizen, born, I believe, over in France, moved over here to Miami when he was just very, very young. And his family still resides here, granted, only partially. For a lot of the year, he's back over in Italy, and he'll be there again, I believe, probably right after this weekend for another big stretch. We get to see him here in Orlando, along with a host of Mini Swift drivers that are ready to go, including, I believe, Ashton Woon on the Super Tune Paralympic, the 195. He'll lead us off.
Yes, that is a new crash helmet for Ashton Woon. He says it's much faster. And the age range, so we got Mini and Micro age ranges. So the age ranges in Mini Swift is age 9 to 13. Micro Swift is 7 to 10. But there's the pink cherry blossoms on the top of Ashton Woon's helmet. Now, Ashton, he's got one American parent, one Japanese parent. Pink cherry blossoms. It's the sign of new beginnings. It's a new helmet, new season, new beginnings for Ashton Woon, who leads 41 Mini Swift drivers out on the circuit. 19 different teams, and there are 12 different chassis manufacturers out on the circuit. Amongst that, there's a great amount of variety across every single class. Now, you saw Xander mention this is the last warm-up of this morning, and I can hear you on the live stream, on the live broadcast, saying, well, what about Pro Shifter? What about Pro X30? That's because they don't go out till this afternoon, and this afternoon's Pro Show. If you haven't been keeping up to date with the goings-on in North American karting over the Winter Series, SKUSA and Kart Tracer, Xander Clements and Tom Carter, they have been they have been the leading lights, and Xander has been pushing the Pro Show format. It's making its world debut here this weekend. So please, stay tuned for the Pro Show. We have an explainer video that will go out a bit later on to explain what the differences are, but you won't see the Pro X30s and the Pro Shifters until after the finals of all the semi-pro classes. So you've got 2 programs in one. We're speaking to more and more of the youngsters here, and we spoke to one of our youngsters, last year's Micro Swift champion, Maxwell Matcher, moving up to Mini Swift this year.
Maxwell, rookie season in the Mini Swift class, you know. You won a lot of championships last year. What's that like, I guess, carrying that experience into this year?
I think it's exciting for like lots of wins for me and the team. So like I think it's kind of good to win everything because like it feels good to me because just a win for everybody and feel excited and yeah. And well, you have to get back up when you fail because failing is good. And when you fail, you get back up and you try again until you get it.
Yeah, and I mean, secondly, right, it's have you had to learn any new things coming up into the Mini Swift class? Because you're racing micro for so long, and now you're moving up to Mini Swift. What are the challenges that you faced early on in your rookie season in Mini Swift?
They're kind of rough, but I mean, you're gonna have to be rough because then it's not like micro anymore, like where you have like now competition and that stuff. But in Mini, there's like different levels because it's kind of difficult to like play it off, and if it's like the last lap, then it's gonna almost push you out. So like, gotta be careful in Mini because it's kind of dangerous. But I mean, it's kind of good to be in Mini because I have more experience now, and I feel confident that Mini is gonna be a champion year for me. So yeah.
Yeah, and you're already talking about the championship, right? But there is a lot of rivals, a lot of friends of yours, right? So who are some of the names that you're looking out for this year?
Maybe Alessandro, Rocco, probably me, maybe Ashton Moon. He's fast too. But I mean, maybe they could beat me, but probably just try again next year. So like, yeah.
Sounds good. Well, best of luck, Maxwell.
Thanks.
Well, that was good to hear from Maxwell Matcher. Looking at the number 175 kart on screen, that's Marco Samut, who came so close to winning the SKUSA Winter Series, but he eventually had to, as everybody else, had to fade behind Royce Vega. Vega, the Supernats champion, and now Winter Series champion. Marco Samut on that Lando Norris chassis. Unfortunately, we can't bring you the times right at the moment, so I can't tell you who has gone quickly and who hasn't, but I do know that the front half of the Mini Swift field is very, very packed indeed. So that brings to an end warm-up. We're not going behind the paywall yet. Don't forget, it is qualifying. That is still free to air. Kart Chaser Premium members, you will get to see the pre-finals for the semi-pro classes, and then qualifying, Super Pole, and the pre-final for the pro divisions later on. But as you can see, the grid being formed for the first qualifying session of the weekend. That brings to an end warm-up, and we'll take a short break to hear from some of our sponsors.
So you finally want to get behind the wheel, huh?
Yeah, I've been shooting for 3 years and I've never got to drive.
Well, you're going to need some more gear than just your helmet. Why don't you go to shopakr.com. They got their inventory online and they'll ship it the same day if you order before 5:30 p.m. Eastern.
They got shoes?
Yep.
Gloves?
Yep.
Rip protectors?
Got those too.
Can they make me go fast?
No.
Here at Acceleration Kart Racing, we've got everything you need to get on track. What happens next? Well, that's on you. Check us out online at shopakr.com.
convinces 90% of the human brain that you are actually on track. Now that is the real deal.
Well, welcome back here to the grid for KA100 Junior. Now, as mentioned yesterday, we are going to get set with two groups for qualifying, a slow group and a fast group here based off of final practice. They were cut in half down the middle of the 45 to 55 total drivers between all the different divisions, but KA100 Junior in total at 50 even, so 25 apiece will go out for qualifying together. Each group will get 5 minutes. First up will be the bottom half from final practice. Next up will be the top half from final practice. You normally see a couple of fast drivers sometimes end up in this slower group. The first driver outside the cut line that's centered on your screen there is the 829. That's junior rookie Travis Pettit, who was part of the 1-2 punch that Trinity Karting Group had last year with Lucas Palacio. And of course, Travis already had a couple of national wins. This was a breakout weekend for him. 1 year ago, got his first national podium with the SKUSA Pro Tour Winter Nationals in Mini Swift. Now in his debut year here in KA Junior, they've already gotten a couple races under their belt with the SKUSA Winter Series. They're ready for the SKUSA Pro Tour. He was the first driver outside the cut line, just under 8/10 off the pace of the fastest man in final practice. He was 26th at the drop of the checkered flag, and alongside him will be that Sodi kart of Remy Andretos there with the white helmet to the right-hand side. So they go out in order from the practice times with the split. That means 26 and 27. First two drivers onto the racetrack, so they've at least got clear track and hopefully no slope traffic in front of them for qualifying. And we are now catching right back up on where we should be on the timetable here, Henry. Just moments away from engines being fired and the command given to let the K100 Juniors loose.
Yeah, and on your screen you can see the second car, the 835 car. That's Dutchman Luke Taal. And Luke, you can see the command next to him, that's Dean Keeble. So Harley Keeble's dad is here mechanicking for somebody else. Stand up, Dean. Oh, you are. Sorry. I couldn't quite see that. Brandon Carr's dad is also mechanicking. So the two British drivers here who are now making their careers in the States, their fathers is Remy Andreatos. There's Luke Taal. Their dads are both here mechanics for other people and keeping them out of trouble. Cash Felber, the 804 kart. Okay. Cash is one of two twins in this field, Cash and Roman Felber. Cash is the older twin by 5 minutes. Roman Felber, there we are. So there's Luke Fedowitz, the Kartworks racing driver. He's going to go out in this session. So the first couple of karts on track will be Travis Pettit, Remy Andreatos, Jose Alejandro Halfan, Frederick Manning, Luke Taal, Arif Kapadia Basu, Cash Felber and his brother. So Cash and Roman, they finished 32nd and 33rd in happy hour practice. Luis Cedeno will be the next driver. So 5 minutes separating them entering this world and 0.05 of a second separate them in happy hour. So now, drivers getting last minute words of encouragement from some of their mechanics, and you can see in the background there Super Tune mechanics. Super Tune here, the Works Powerline team, very, very strong coming on the grid this year for Super Tune. We wait for the signal to be given to start engines, of course.
Everyone will be on time and early for their qualifying sessions here. This is, of course, a slightly quicker turnaround with the Pro X30s and Pro Shifters slotted around into the afternoon. Means they've got a quick turnaround from warm-up to go to qualifying. A couple drivers were pushing the last second, not technically late, but not early by any means. And when they have to line up in a specific order, definitely doesn't make the grid officials' jobs any bit easier. So there's as well another SuperCarts USA official coverage from warm-up and qualifying for the same pro classes. And then in the afternoon, we'll have the main events for the Pro Show for free as well. So Engines look like they are finally coming to life here down on the grid, and we're ready to get the first qualifying session of the 2024 SuperKarts USA Pro Tour underway here from Orlando. So engines fired, they'll send them out in order onto the racetrack. You can pick your own gaps once you're out there, but be smart about it on your out lap, because you will only have 4 laps in total on the racetrack to be able to kind of put a good lap together.
Yes, indeed. So it's a tough discipline to learn, the art of qualifying, but these young drivers, see, they got their fresh tyres on, new bones for everybody as they head out onto the circuit momentarily. And overcast skies here in Orlando. There's a very small threat of some moisture arriving, but nothing to worry about really. We should be green and dry as a button for the entire weekend. One shot, Jay getting, that was almost a very, very close shot of one of the karts there that almost skimmed his shin as they went out. So, qualifying underway. This is the slow group. This is the second half of the field. Always, look, there's going to be 1 or 2 drivers in the front half of the field that don't hook it up or have problems or miss the setup. So this is a chance for some of the front runners in this group to break into the top 20. And of course, with 50 drivers set to start the pre-final and the final, that's, a bad qualifying session could really ruin your day.
Yeah, this could really put a hamper on any of them, because they've only got the pre-final to rebound, and with 50 karts to get through, or in general, if you end up in the middle of the pack, in the middle of that swarm, that's just a scary sight to see 50 karts head down.
He's running here for Daniel Calagaris' Orlando Kart Center team. Frederick, wasn't out practicing much. He hasn't done much practice. Hasn't got a bunch of practice, but is here and now racing, and he's tagged on the back of Pettit's kart. Probably a smart move. Knows that Travis Pettit is going to be a front runner in this group, at least for the Trinity Kart group entry. Let's have a little look now. We're going to be completing our first flying lap this time by, and we'll be able to bring you, as the session progresses, the second drivers, how many of these drivers are hanging on in the top 10, 15, 20 positions, even when the fast group goes out. So, lap number 1 in the books. And who is quick? Luke Tahl, the Dutchman, goes top of the chart. Tyrone Kemper Jr. is next. Martin Jaramillo, Cash Felber, Travis Pettit, Remy Andriatos, Frederick Manning. The drivers that we've been following, Pettit and Manning, 5th and 7th at the moment.
Yeah, Luke Tahl, 57.852, quickest time so far. You just saw him make a pass that lap, so he'll lose a little bit of time through turn number 4 compared to Tyrone Kemper Jr. We don't have eyes on him at the moment. He's, I think, a little bit further back in the group. There he is, top of the screen on that all blacked out Gillard for Tyrone in second. Martin Jaramillo on the U-Race machine is back with him, making a pass on one of the Orslon Racing Tony karts as well. That's back into that back hairpin, turn number 10. So into the final corner, we'll put another lap in. This will be lap number 3 with about maybe 1 to 2 more laps to go. At the line, Travis Pettit, Luke Tahl looking to go by him here in turn 1 to make another pass. He still put a good lap in, but it wasn't good enough to hold the top spot. Martin Jaramillo with a much better one, 57.108. New driver, top of the boards.
Yep, now it's Tyrone Kemper Jr., second fastest, Tahl third, Pettit fourth, Carlo Ricchetti is 5th, Wyatt Downing, Remy Andriatos, Cash Felber, Arif Kapadia Basu, and Frederick Manning, your top 10 at the moment. There are the updated times of 57.108 for Jaramillo. But look at the gap between the top 3 and Pettit in 4th, 0.6 of a second. Now, that pretty much means behind Pettit, nobody, unless they have a problem in the fast group, is going to be, that much slower. So really, Jaramillo, Kemper Jr. and Tahl are the only drivers in this group at the moment who are upping their game and forcing the issue to try and break into the top 20, maybe the top 15 on the overall grid. There's the 882 U-Race driver of Jaramillo, who the final group of drivers, Jaramillo nearly half a second faster than Tahl, Felber, Kemper Jr., Manning, Pettit, Downing, Roman Felber, Manjencic and Ricchetti. That's a significant gap, Xander.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you need out of the slow group here. And even burning that last lap for Martin Jaramillo was still fine. 56.740 for Martin. So Luke Tall second, Felber third, Kemper, Frederick, Manning in the fifth spot, Travis Pettit in the sixth spot over Downing, Felber, Manjukic, and then Ricchetti. A second spread, again, half of it alone for the quick man. So Martin Jaramillo for the Orlando-based U-Race team turning up when he needs to most here in the slow group for qualifying. Unfortunately, I have to fight from that on both days as now the fast group heads onto the racetrack, the second half of K1A100 Junior onto the racetrack. Let's take a look, though, at what happened for Martin Jaramillo on that final lap that might have even had him go a little bit better before the fast group headed onto the circuit.
Yes, it was coming into the final, into turn number 10. You could see Jaramillo. Frederick Manning was already behind somebody and sort of on the brakes early, and Jaramillo just sort of the momentum took him into Manning. Manning had a half spin, but yeah, I think that probably the way that the traffic was looking there, Jaramillo, I think it would have improved on that lap, but it certainly didn't help friends and relations between Manning and Jaramillo. At the moment, the drivers in the fast group are on their out lap. We'll keep you up to date.
Yeah, here we go on the out lap indeed. So they're still haven't gotten their first lap in yet. This will be the first lap this time by for all of them as they head down to turn at number 10. Big send from Salvador de la Vecchia on Jackson Wolney behind the likes of Garzone and Enzo Vidmontien. But look at Diego Ardiles. He was quick on cold tires to get a massive gap as they head onto the front straightaway here. First lap's coming in. Where will the quick group slot in? Not too quick initially. Only up to about the mid-20s, so they didn't even really get to the back of the group as they were getting underway. And that's big to note for all the drivers kind of looking on from the sidelines, that there is still going to be a lot of time to be found and a lot of tire warming in the first lap and maybe even the second before you get to peak pace. And that makes it all the more important to rush out of the pit lane like this group did and try to get 5 laps instead of maybe getting bumped down to 4.
Exactly, but there's also, that's one of 2 really good points for getting out early. Ardiles has shot away and there's nobody slipstreaming him either. So he's got clean air in front of him, so he hasn't got to worry about traffic, but also he has got out so quickly that the driver, is that Jackson Young in the 809 kart, the only GFC chassis and GFC team kart in this division, and Jackson Young is already up to 4th position overall. His lap time is 57.258, but now we've got Ardiles and Enzo Vidmontien. Enzo Vidmontien, this is a redemption arc for Enzo Vidmontien. Nobody doubts his speed. He has got speed in bucket loads, but it is getting through the weekend and, getting through the weekend without getting involved in any incidents or controversy. It's getting over that mental hurdle of putting it all together. He has been, I've seen him race twice now, and both times he has been a
final touch on it out of turn 12. A little bobble there coming out of the corner, but the toe should still help him down the straightaway. I don't think anyone's going to top this one. Across the line, Vidmontien, 3.28, 2/10 better than anyone so far. That'll close up. Peyton Westcott, Ty Fisher jumping up the boards with a big toe lap as well. Fisher to second, 300 shy. Peyton Westcott to third. Carson Weinberg fourth. Then Turner Brown fifth, and we've got problems further back. 2 drivers together, Kai Mars and
Fionn Shee.
Fionn Shee to colliding in the final turn, coming to finish their laps. Both of them are now going to drop down the board. 27th for Kai Mars. She is 20th here at the end of qualifying for K100 Junior.
Look at that, though. It is 13th position overall for Martin Jaramillo, the first group leader. that is great for him. The rest of the Group 1 drivers outside, well, pretty much where they were in practice yesterday. But, yeah, Enzo Vidmontien. I thought Diego Ardiles had timed it perfectly. He went off so quickly, but Vidmontien, he closed in. Good tactical driving for the Brazilian-born, American-based driver. Yeah, he is... Then there we've got cameras in the scales. Oh, there's a Trevor Blue sighting, ladies and gentlemen. Trevor Blue sighting on the stream.
Yeah, this is a much-needed start to the weekend here for Enzo Vidmontien after the way that the SKUSA Winter Series played out, the Supernats. Again, like you said, he's had speed, and there's a reason why the Kart Republic boys are happy to have him with the Trinity Karting Group, but just unfortunately some hard-earned, learned lessons of maturity for Enzo over the last few months. At least there's a smile on his face to start the weekend this way. The speed's always been there. Now it's a matter of keeping his head on and being able to put it all together when the day continues on through.
Yes, indeed. And Alex Searle and Caleb Vieska, our pit reporters, are there on the spot. And we will hopefully get a word with Enzo Vidmontien and all the pole sitters. There's Salvador Della Vecchia with the unfortunate haircuts. I think they're supposed to say the Venezuelan driver from Puerto de la Cruz in Venezuela. But he's got a similar race suits, apart from the green stripe, which the Trinity Kart groups have. And, the Chad Docken Racing driver Della Vecchia, who, he's a kart chaser fan, as is the other driver there. They love their kart mums, as it says, the big sticker on their rib protector. There's Diego Ardiles, who is further down the order than he would have liked. I think he's just outside the top 10, possibly. But so Vidmontien goes over the scales. The SKUSA officials check the scales, and he is going to be heading our way very shortly. These SKUSA officials, they give him the weight, and he is okay. So he comes down and into the waiting arms, so to speak, of our pit reporters.
Yeah, he'll push on through. It looks like all good for Enzo. Hopefully the smile will stay as he rolls on through the scales and met or exceeded the minimum weight. So Enzo Vidmontien and the TKG Kart Republic boys will take top honors in the first of the 7 classes, 6 groups that run here in the morning half of the day as he moves his way on through, and we will continue to wait for him to clear on through. Hopefully we'll be able, I know in the Pro Show we'll be able to go right up to the drivers in the scale line, but with how quick things roll through, they're trying to make sure that everyone's ready and out of the way. Enzo's going to at least pull his cart off to the side so we can chat with him. So there goes Alex on over to him. And, well, let's send it on down to them. Here, our top qualifier in KA Junior. Alex?
Thank you, Xander. Yeah, here with your pole sitter, Enzo Vidmontien. Enzo, you've been rapid in every series, every track you've been to start the year. I mean, what is it about this year, I mean, maybe this Trinity Karting group that has made you so quick to start 2024?
It's been great. Here especially, it's my home track. I've run thousands of laps. Sean, the team owner, has been helping me a lot. Kart Republic has been perfect. I was perfect, and it works.
And we saw the differential there in qualifying. I mean, 300th, your top 2. I mean, less than a 10th, basically your top 5. Incredibly close here in KA Junior, as expected around Orlando. What's it going to take to get a win around here later this afternoon?
Maybe get someone to draft, push to the last 2 laps, and whoever's the better one wins.
All right, thank you, Enzo.
You're welcome.
Well, great to hear from Axel and Enzo Vidmontien. We move from KA100 Junior to KA100 Senior. 40 drivers split into 2 groups of 20 on the circuit. Now, qualifying, Patricio Gonzalez in kart number 933 should be the first driver out. And so there is the signal that is given. Also the 923 kart at the front there. That's Jean Reyes. And Jean Reyes, the Coastal Inc-backed driver, the LFB Racing, based here in Orlando, Florida. There's a lot of work here at the circuit, for the circuit. And he was actually our grid marshal at Homestead, Miami, was Jean Reyes. Now getting a chance. Yes, we saw you there, Mr. Angeli. He wants to make sure he gets as many hand signals into the cameras. Well, it's good to know that some of the drivers are very media aware. And these are the things that in years past you might not be able to show you. Oh dear, and that is Mario Barros. Oh, to quote the late great Tom Carnegie, Mario is slowing down. And hopefully he will pick up the pace there as we look at John Reyes to come into our screen. Through the kink at turns 3 and 4, and then down towards turn number 5. Driver's not overtaking up into turn number 6 now on the out lap. Oh dear. The Rollerson Performance Group Cosmic Chassis of Mario Barrios is still not a happy wagon as he crawls towards the start line. I have a feeling that he will not get it. Oh, understeering through turn number 10 for Landon Cardwell. Just to show you that, Mario Barros has given up the unequal struggle. And he will be starting shotgun on the field, pretty much guaranteed. 40th position for Mario. Well, he stepped into the KC, joined KC as well as Master for the extra challenge, and he certainly will have that. Now, it is Nikolai Dukov, the Lithuanian race driver, in kart number 955, the only driver here certainly representing Lithuania for the Trinity Karting Group. He is fastest. Carter Thompson, gotta be fast in this sport with a name like Carter. Carter Thompson is P2. Quentin Angeli is third, hand signals and all. Then the kart you're looking at here, Jean Reyes on your screens. In fourth position, Sawyer Roussel, Lydia Small, Charlie Fonseca, Landon Cardwell, and Javier Diaz, the top 9 drivers. But there's Reyes coming across the line, hard on the brakes in turn number 1. He blew a motor in happy hour yesterday, did Reyes, so that is his spare power unit on the kart.
Let's go side by side here while we are watching Gene Reyes. There is Stephen Miller getting set to go on the grid from the fast group. So as we got our eyes on the slow group on the circuit, Stephen Miller there's a good look down on the grid with the Nash Motorsports driver getting set to go as well. So here's a look at Blake Nash. Here's the rest of the drivers all looking on, keeping an eye on the slow group and what kind of times they run. We'll refresh the leaderboard as well when we do get a moment to show you where they run currently. And Jelly still quickest over Thompson, Shimbasi, Nikolai Dukov, and Gene Reyes here, who is fifth. Let's see what he does this time by when he comes around that final turn.
Yes, indeed. The Angelia 56.956. There goes Reyes to the top of the board. 56.750. And now that's been beaten by Carter Thompson. Carter Thompson, kart 960 for the Trinity Kart Group, 56.664. And unlike the Group 1 in Junior, where Martin Yaramillo had a big advantage over everybody else, the top, let's have a little look. Well, the top 6 drivers, because you've got Patricio and Rodrigo Gonzalez, 5th and 6th, they are separated by 0.14 of a session. There's Carter Thompson on your screen. The side-by-side, you can see some of our fast group drivers there. It's Colin Lloyd amongst them, and great to see there's Vinny Mascalis as well, already sat and focused in his car. But it's still Carter Thompson, Jean Reyes, here we go to the line. Here comes Carter Thompson. Can he improve? Yes, he can. 56.5 now for Carter Thompson in kart 960. Reyes is still second. In this group, Landon Cardwell is down in 9th position. Patricio Gonzalez goes into P2. Into the closing moments. Now this is Carter Thompson's last flying lap, but he's right behind Landon Cardwell. Is he too close behind? He's going to get a slipstream, but is Cardwell going to slow him down? Oh, getting sideways in the braking. Yeah, that's it. Lap gone away for Cardwell. As we look down at, there is on the screen one of the Nash Motorsport drivers on track, Kane Martin. Yep.
Yeah. And then there's Connor Ferris as well. He's already ready to go as the checkered flies here in qualifying for KA100 Senior. And across the line, Carter Thompson. That time, did he improve at all? He did not. So it stays at a 56.530. Zapato Gonzalez, Nikolay Dukov, Rodrigo Gonzalez, and then Reyes. And unlike KA Junior, where it was a great lap for Martin Jaramillo to jump up above the group and hopefully slot in, they're all pretty tightly packed. Only about 2/10 right now separates the top 5.
Yeah, and that's bad news for the fast group going out right away, because Thompson, Gonzalez, Dukov, Rodrigo Gonzalez, Jean Reyes, all the top 5 separated by just 0.15 of a second. So there's potentially 5 drivers there who I think could really, have an impact and make their way into the top 15 and push some of the fast group down the running order. 20 drivers out on circuit. Here we go. There's the 975 kart. That is Fernando Luque, the Super Tune driver. Now it says on the end this is on a Tony kart, but that looks suspiciously like a purple OTK product, which would mean a Cosmic wagon. Same horse, different jockey. To be fair, now obviously he's out lap. Oh dear, and a double thumbs up there, maybe at a wave. Possibly.
One is Henry Wheeler. That's the number 3 plate from 2023.
It was the other driver escaping the scene of the crime was Kane Martin, I believe. And I think potentially, with just a bit of sarcasm, Henry Wheeler was giving the double thumbs up and waving to Kane Martin, saying, "Thanks for that, mate. Really appreciate it," as my qualifying session ends backwards in the barriers. Didn't see the incident, but the reaction from the drivers possibly told the story. Possibly.
Yeah, through turn number 1 here. Let's go back to the rest of the group that is at least going and where they've slotted so far. Just a lap in, and Peyton Phillips is your quickest man here at the moment in the 958 Ryan Perry Motorsport machine. You can see him right behind that 973 Nash Motorsports entry of Stephen Miller. They're both down the boards at the moment. 18th for Phillips and more, but let's take a look here.
You see the barriers there at turn 3, and suddenly there was a kart in the middle of the tracks, sideways. There was nowhere for them to go. But great work there. On the ticker, well, here's something. It's still Carter Thompson and Pato Gonzalez, 1-2, Xander Clements.
But give it a second. Watch this group right here across the line. Big lap out of Stephen Miller, Phillips as well, Lloyd as well. Just like that to the top for all of them. Cameron Weinberg, the KR on your screen. That Kart Republic for Chad Dawkin Racing also into the top 10. He goes 6th. Nash right behind him 7th. But Stephen Miller 3rd in line. Perfect toe, perfect lap. Might catch them a little bit too early in this lap to do a good lap 4. That could hurt him a little bit as the session rolls on. But a 56.11 for Stephen Miller right now has him top of the boards as Blake Nash sends it on Cameron Weinberg there in turn number 9.
We keep talking about Miller as, one of the young stars.
Time. It'll move them both a little further back. Mick Gabriel right now, not even in the top 10. He's a good ways further back, unfortunately. So long way to go. He's 25th. 7.5 tenths to find for the AEM karting Tony Kart driver.
Yes, indeed. Up the scrapyard straight for what will be, I am sure, one of the final times. It is still Miller, Lloyd, Isaac, Connor Ferris up into the top 5. Peyton Phillips, Colin Brown. You can see Ryan Perry Motorsport, Peyton Phillips, Colin Brown's young charge is up into the top 6. Eli Warren goes 7th. So here we go. Checkered flag is out. Miller still fastest with a 56.115. Now let's have a look. Lloyd is taking the checkered flag 2nd. Isaac 3rd. Luque is 4th. Ferris is 5th. Peyton Phillips top 6. Eli Warwick, Quinton McPherson, Finnegan Bailiff 9th. Still top 10 for Carter Thompson, however, from the slow group. Great effort from Carter Thompson, and that is all she wrote. So it's 14-year-old Stephen Miller who leads the way in KA Senior, but all the top names are snapping at his heels.
Let's go down to pit lane for a little more intel here as KA Senior comes to a close with Miller by a 10th over Colin Lloyd, or at least it we'll be talking to Miller in a moment. Here's a look, actually, while we wait for the scale line to roll, of the micros getting set to go. And a lot of the familiar names were quick in that one here. Looks like we've got at least the full results here as well from the ticker. But let's go to look, and oh man, there is the damage from that incident we saw earlier on in the session that collected Kane Martin spinning around in turns 3 and 4. Don't know if that tire went flat off the incident or due to this, or that what caused the spin for Kane, but that's what took him out. So Kane Martin there, a flat left front, is going to hurt him a lot. He'll start pretty deep in the field, unfortunately, on the Nash Motorsports entry.
Yeah, he'll be joining Mario Barros down on the 20th row of the grid. Now, there is Christopher Guirem on the Energy Course number 912 kart. And that's next driver over there. That is Rodrigo Gonzalez. So Rodrigo Gonzalez was up there near the front of the field, but he's dropped out of the top 10. Let's have a look there down there to see on the ticker on the left side. 34th fastest for Autumn Fisher, improving now. So Henry Wheeler, Mario Barros, and the number 979 car of Coleman Hall, all failing to set time. As we'll try and grab a word with Stephen Miller as he comes across the weighbridge. There is Mr. Molina in the Orsolin Racing number 994 kart. Oh, sorry, 9. Well, it was Mr. Molina. It was Enrique Molina in the 940 car for Orsolin Racing. There's the 964 of Blake Nash. We spoke to Nash yesterday, and Blake not cracking the top 10 again. So his trials and tribulations continue. The 975, that's Fernando Luque. So happy hour pace setter Luque, fourth in provisional qualifying. Of course, they've all got to go through tech. They've got to go through the weigh scales and into the tech building. So this is provisional until the scrutineers say otherwise. There is Lucas. So still not too bad for the Super Tune driver at all, but we'll wait to try and catch up with Stephen Miller. The micros will be going out very shortly, but again, we're going to try our very, very best to speak to all the pole sitters in all the classes, always possible. Now, let's have a look at the remnants of, there's
we saw Barrios go off early in the first group, and again, they collect them from the first and the second. There's Henry Wheeler. The other driver that was involved, he unfortunately did not go off, or fortunately for him, didn't go fully off. Not Martin. There was one more.
Oh, yeah. There was
just off frame.
One more
he was able to continue. However, he got the damage. Not sure who that driver was that went off as well.
But that was, again, he sort of like come out of the blind kink. Oh, there's a cart in my way. He jinked right. And he gave K Martin a big clip, but was able to carry on. And I'm sure that driver would have had some damage that would have affected the performance of the kart, if not the ability of the kart to actually go around and complete the session. While we wait to speak to Stephen Miller, we will be able to bring you the start of the slow group in Micro Max. Here we go.
Micro Swift.
Oh,
Henry.
I've done it already. I'm sorry. Right.
That's so early.
Oh,
the weekend's not even started.
There's got to be some sort of punishment. There's for me every time I say the M word. Not micro, the other M word. I don't know, just beat me with the stick. It's okay.
Either way here. One driver that definitely put a beating on the field by a 10th with a little spin there early on here in this Micro Swift qualifying session was Stephen Miller. And he is, I believe, standing by down on the scale area with our very own Caleb Viesco, or at least will be in just a moment. So let's send it on over to Caleb and have a chat with our top qualifier in KA100 Senior.
Thank you, Xander. I'm here with Stephen Miller, dude. Pole position, a 10th clear of the field. Just walk me through that lap.
Yeah, I had a really good lap. I had some drafts off my teammate Blake Nash, and that lap really went to plan. We ended up P1, so I'm happy with that.
And you had a strong showing last week as well in the KA class. Now you're mixing it up. You know, your rookie season in the senior class. How's it been so far?
It's been pretty good. I like senior so far. The racing is a little bit different, but I'm getting used to it as every race goes, and I'm liking it so far.
Sounds good. Well, that's Stephen Miller looking to make an impression on the senior field.
Thank you, Caleb. And there you go, Stephen Miller. Good spirits, but seemed pretty level-headed there. Not too far ahead of himself. It's just qualifying at the end of the day, right, Henry?
Yeah, and again, but that is impressive considering that he is still just 14. You know, he's got to now navigate his way through 2 extremely competitive races, and he knows the level of competition behind him. Obviously, he'll be looking to win, but his team, they'll be looking to temper expectations.
Yeah, keep it level here, and he's already had a couple of good runs in that class, running towards the pointy end of the grid so far. So with the timer started now and the laps just beginning to populate here in the first group for Micro Swift qualifying, Liam Nachawati, who was one of our fastest drivers in morning warm-up, is the quickest at the moment, a 103.058 for the pole position Motorsports Paralympic driver. You saw him just make a move on one of the BJR MDR entries that was looked to be the 210 LN kart of Cameron Johnson. And as he hits the final chicane and onto the front straightaway, let's see if Liam can go any better, even with a pass done. He's already half a second up. He could be our man here out of this slow group that transfers straight on through into the top 15, maybe even top 10 of the fast group in the overall for micro qualifying, Henry.
Yes, indeed. Nachawati, again, a surprise contender in the slow group. Looking down there, so again, obviously the problem there for the number 292 of Jake Katowski, one of the U-Race drivers. We're going to keep up to date with young Mr. Sanders there. So he's 5.9 seconds off this. He's going to improve his lap times in chunks. For some of these drivers, that is Katowski. That's why Katowski's at the back. The kart is beached at the end of turn number 1, and he's waiting for some clean track. Is that the wheel spinning?
Yeah,
he's over the curb.
Yeah, just off the edge of the pavement there. There's a little lip in the pavement, just enough to bottom out these frames. So he's going to get back out. Hopefully he'll get up to speed quickly before Nachawati arrives. He's on a burner lap right now. Let's see what it's going to be. Last time, Ian Hammaker beat him, but he was making a pass. This time for Liam Nachawati, 101.52. That'll put him 3/10 clear of the field for the moment, but that'll change. Logan Arteta with a good lap in the 254. He'll go to a 101.41.
Yeah, Logan Arteta, the Sodi kart driver. On our travels yesterday, Logan's older brother Ethan is a fantastic artist, and he draws and paints pictures of obviously Logan's car, but Franco is up there at the front of the field. But now it's Logan Arteta, Nachawati, Hammaker, Cameron Johnson up at the 4th place, Lockhart, Agudelo, Chaveri, Montalvo.
Yeah, and the rest of the field, they've at least got some rabbits to chase of some kind in this group. Nachawati has none at this point. This will be his final lap, though, so whatever he puts here, this will stick him across the line. First group of 2, Micro Swift qualifying. Liam Nachawati at the loop, a 101.7. Not enough to do anything crazy. Ian Hammaker still 3rd, waiting on his 5th lap to come on by the line. Cameron Johnson, Lennox Lockhart. Your top 5 with no major changes besides Johnson going a little bit quicker. So a 101.41, a great lap from Logan Arteta. That'll put him good enough to go top of this group and the top half of micro qualifying here as we go down to the grid for the fast group.
Yes, indeed. So with no pickups, here come the fast group there. Just wanted to quickly notice on the board there, that is the 221 kart. Liam Francisco I know the Goodwood Kartways driver has a whole host of family members watching up in Canada. In fact, his dad said, you've got to make sure you say hi to Liam's family on the stream, on the broadcast, because, everyone just loves hearing the name Liam Francisco. Well, he's there at the 16th at the moment, 15th at the moment. And Kaysen Sanders, right then. Kaysen Sanders, we're going to keep up to date with this youngster's lap time. So he has done a 1:05.0 in the first session for Kaysen Sanders, a 1:05.0, and I think that by the end of the weekend he will be down into the 1:03s at least.
So as we watch this fast group, that's for Kaysen. Let's see what the lap times look for the quickest so far. We're still waiting on them to get the complete lap in. Here is one of the Bennick and one of the U-Race entries. That is the 2:34 of Nolan Carney and the 2:25 of Wynn Godshock. So they were the first two ones out of the pit lane, fastest from final practice yesterday. They are going to be able to probably work together for a good portion of this session. Behind them is the Orlando Kart Performance MPG Motorsports entry of Santiago Orioli, and he's just a little too far back to get any help on his opening few laps. But if he's a little bit quicker, he'll be in a prime spot on lap 3 or lap 4 to get a massive run at him. First lap in, no one going too high up except for Orioli, right on cue. A good lap there and another good one. This could be a great lap for Santiago, third in line on that red and chrome colored MPG Kart Republic. He is 9th on the opening circuit, quickest by about half a second over the rest of the field in fast group.
Got to say that new MPG Motorsports graphic kit, very, very striking indeed, going from white to chrome. And okay, here is the 225 on your screen. That is Curacao, so the whole country is getting behind Wynn and Zev Gottschalk. Zev, the younger brother, taking a bit of time to get into the swing of things. Orioli is 9th overall. Let's see what happens. And you can see the OKP graphic on the back of Orioli's car, on the back of his race suit there, out of turn number 13 on the start-finish straight. Will this put Orioli to the top of the board? Yes, it does. 60.974 seconds. That is 0.4 of a second quicker than anybody in the field. And Nolan Carney in that 234 kart, he's third overall. He is nearly half a second behind Santi Orioli.
Yeah, that's a huge gap for Santi. You saw him just go by on Nolan Carney there. Next up, we'll be getting around Wynn Godshock, but my goodness, he is flying fast here right now. As you can see, all the drivers headed through the sweeper.
It almost looks as though Carney is sort of like stuck in treacle, because, just the way that Orioli just breezed past him. Now he's behind Godshock. Will this slow Orioli down? He's not going to want to push Godshock and help his rival in qualifying. Out of turn number 13, he gets a great drive out of the corner. Look at that, he can get on the power. The kart doesn't wash out, but he does have the grip that maintains it. Doesn't improve that lap. Godshock goes to P2. Now it's Zane Burgess. There he is on your screen, 255. Burgess goes second. Leo Simoni up into third. Marcelo Flores to fourth. Dutch Westbrook to fifth. Luca Paterno is sixth. Godshock was second, is down to seventh. And still Arteta is eighth, hanging on in Group 1.
Zane Burgess won't have a toe on the next couple laps here as he rounds the sweeper, heads on through on that Sodi Racing USA machine, followed by one of the Velocity Racing Pragas.
Marina
Brandau there, the Brandau Motorsport Velocity Racing pairing. At least she's able to give him a nice push down this back straightaway. That might help. They're going to get one more lap at the most. So this is lap 4 they're working. The first 3 all single file. Burgess going to back off. He's going to set himself up for a toe lap here on this final run as Brandau goes through.
Yeah, very smart driving there from Zane Burgess. He was like, actually, I know this kart. Marina's very fast. Why am I towing her around? Have to say that the Velocity Racing Praga team, they look very, very smart. They've got the new awning. They've got the new team clothing. The Pragas always look smart.
Bumper of Godshock. So Godshock was towing him, got a great lap following, and now he gets bumped, gets into the back of Orioli, and Orioli goes around. They are second and third. They're going to start near each other. Looks like Santi was able to at least loop it and get back going without any damage from what we can tell. But that's a bit of a blow to the end of qualifying. Great run for Zane Burgess. And again, you thought for a moment he gave the toe too much to Marina Brandau. She falls to 5th. He's still got a good toe back off of her on that final lap. He will start from the pole.
Got to say, the very, very best always find a way to get back to the top of the board. Burgess, Godchuk, Orioli, Carney, Brandau, Simone, Flores, Westbrook, and Patel, your top runners in Micro Swift.
We'll be right back here after this.
Are you looking for an advantage in your competition? Well, Kart Class has done the hard work for you. We've travelled to your racetracks to give you the inside knowledge. So what does Kart Class offer? We've got drone footage that captures the racing lines, visual markers for your braking points, acceleration zones, and the best overtake opportunities on your racetrack, pedal cam to show you where to brake and when to accelerate, and 360-degree footage to make sure you don't miss any parts on the racetrack. We've covered 13 racetracks in the United States, and Australia, you're up next. So visit kartclass.com to get your track information.
Are you ready to get behind the wheel? From Formula One to NASCAR and IndyCar, all the pros start here. For more information, check us out online at mcckarting.com or call us and go racing today.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Junior X30 qualifying is underway, and you rejoin us just as the leading contenders set their first flying lap. And it's the man on your screen, Diego Ardiles, setting the pace, 56.169 seconds, the number 793. Rollerson Performance Group, his teammate Victor Alencar. Second fastest, Jackson Walney third, Turner Brown fourth, Sarah Bradley fifth. So it is RPG and Speed Concepts Racing annexing the top 5. Ty Fisher, Chase Gassioli, Nathan Dupuis, Max Weiland and Edward Kennedy rounding out your top 10. So into turn number 10, you can see that Ardiles, long look over his shoulder. He's got clean air behind him, and he's thinking to himself, okay, and it's one of my teammates directly behind me online. I think that could be Victor Alencar. So he will now get his head down. I don't think we'll see him look over his shoulder again. He knows his gap, and he will now just focus on the task in hand. And the task in hand has got a little bit harder because Turner Brown and Victor Alencar, there they are. It is to Alencar in the 777, the 768 of Turner Brown leading to Alencar. They have now, boys, well, hope Mike Wallace has got some chassis protectors on there because he's going to need them. RPG saying, you know, the drivers, okay, well, to heck with the chassis. If we got to use the curbs to go fast, then the curbs we shall use. Max Weiland there into 8th position now. There is the 703 cart. That is Jackson Walney. 3rd, trying to get a toe. So on your screen here, the 3 carts looking at 1, 2, 3 in the running order. Ardiles is 4. Ty Fisher puts the TB kart from Racelab Engineering into the top 5. Bradley, Gassioli, Vonchev, Edward Kennedy, and David Ramirez, the rest of the top 10. And I have to say, half a second covering the top 10 drivers at the moment. It's still a 54.556 for It Be Wild, Turner Brown. Their fastest time on their last flying lap, and it's all change. It's Ardiles, 54.422 seconds. De Alencar, 54.451, 200ths of a second separate them. Then Jackson Walney, 54.506, so just 800ths of a second separate the top 3. Turner Brown, get this, 54.507. Just 1/1000th of a second slower than Jackson Walney, David Ramirez, Cole Medeiros, Chase Gassioli, Sarah Bradley, Alex Vonchev, Ty Fisher, the rest of the top 10. There is Turner Brown. He was pole position until about 10 seconds before the end of that session, and now he starts on the outside of row number 2. We will do our best to get a chat with number 793, Diego Ardiles. There's Sarah Bradley getting out of the car. Now, yeah, okay, so there's an awful lot of RPG karts at the front of the field to choose from. There's Victor de Alencar in the black race suit. Hasn't got his RPG suit just yet. And come on, Victor, smile. You're on the front row of the grid. There we go. Caleb Vieska is going to speak to our provisional pole sitter in Junior X30, Diego Ardiles.
Thank you, Henry. Diego, on the last lap, able to get the pole position away from some of your teammates. Jackson Walney was up there, and so was Turner Brown, but you were able to get it done. Pole position, walk me through your lap there.
Yeah, at the beginning of the session, I thought what happened on the K8, that Enzo got my draft, and he went like 2 tenths faster than me. I saw Turner that was catching up to me, so I left the gas to get their reference, and I was able to put like a great lap on the last one.
Yeah, and it's a RPG 1-2, right? Your teammate Victor de Alencar starting right next to you for the pre-final. I mean, you guys going to be working together here on this one?
Yeah, I hope.
Well, best of luck later today. That's Diego Ardiles, your pole sitter here in X30 Junior.
And I like the way he just went, yeah, at the end of the interview when Caleb Vieska asked him, are the teammates going to work together? You know, it's a head-to-head fight at the moment between RPG and Speed Concepts. RPG have the numbers, but, you know, it's 2 Speed Concept teammates, Walney and Dupree, but Caleb Vieska is going to speak to our outside poleman, Victor de Alencar. Take it away, Caleb.
Thank you, guys. Victor, I mean, you were out there with your teammates on track, right? Did you, whenever you crossed the line, did you think you got the pole there?
I don't think so, but it was definitely like I wanted more, but I think I did. I thought I set pole at the line maybe because I caught Chico and I didn't know if he finished pole or not. So I was like, I didn't know, but I mean, I'm happy but not satisfied yet. So I think we got to dig in the pre-final and final, and we should be good for the final. I mean, for the win.
Yeah, and you got a lot of teammates around you starting in the pre-final. I mean, feeling confident going into that one?
Yeah, I think we just all got to be smart and work together.
Sounds good. Well, that's Victor de Alencar starting on the front row alongside teammate Diego Ardiles.
Thank you. And, of course, the statistical genius of the kart chase team that is Emery Leider just informed me that, of course, that Alencar was on pole for both rounds here last year in KA 100 Junior. So 1-2 watch indeed. Here we go then with the next qualifying class. This is KA Masters and Master Shifter. Now the driver, are we going to split them? I don't know if they're all going out together. There are 8 KA 100 Masters. They're the karts starting in the 400s, and then there are 10 Master Shifters. They're the drivers whose karts start with the 600s, and they are led by last year's champion Luis Quinones, the factory kart driver, now based out of Los Angeles, California. And Billy Musgrave's team, we'll see Billy later on in the pro show, but his master driver, the factory kart, that black and red of Luis Quinones, 601. Now, even the shifters using those curbs, and we've got, he decides that he doesn't want that bit of tape over the radiator, and so he releases the tape, that to let a little bit more air in. That is something that would have decided upon beforehand. We do 2 laps or 1 lap, and then we take this bit of tape off. Whilst there's still some tape you can see on the black tape on the left-hand side of the radiator. You'll be able to see it. There goes another bit. That is in the middle of the track, so that is going to, somebody's going to get that on their tyre. And again, this is all part of a well-crafted plan about engine temperature, tyre wear, all things like that. The drivers have got to adhere to, where they have their briefings with the mechanic and their tactics for the session. So it does look as though these are the master shifters. So we are splitting it. Quinones from the number 629 car. So there's Luis A. Quinones and then Luis Quinones for the LFB team. So you've got two Luis Quinoneses. Here's the second of the two Luis Quinoneses. That's, Henry, you're never been accused of being the sharpest knife in the drawer. But I said hello to Luis Quinones. Hiya, mate, how's it going? Good to see you again. And he looked at me like I had come from another planet. And that's because I was saying it's the wrong Luis Quinones. Because this Luis Quinones races in other classes, Rotax and what have you, that I've seen an awful lot of. But I was saying hi to Luis A. Quinones. Oh, dear. Well, there we go. Lesson learned, Henry. You know, what a difference a letter makes. Quite literally, a letter. Luis A. Quinones leads, and Luis Quinones, I wonder what his middle name is. I'm not going to call him Luis B because, yeah, Luis A is now second, and just Luis Quinones now leads. This is a commentator's worst idea. Just Luis Quinones leads, and now it's all better because Michael Ghosh and Skitchy Barnes have gone first and second, the two Maranello teammates. Juan Pablo Rico for U-Race is up to fourth. Then we have, I'm going to call him Kurt Schilling, but no, he was a pitcher in baseball. It's the number 621 cart of Ken Schilling, who is next. But Ghosh, 52.699, and that is just Luis Quinones. Yeah, just Luis. Up through the gears coming out of there, and so just Luis and Luis A. That is what we're going to call them. That's what I'm going to call them to help my addled brain. But just Luis is there on our screens now. Through turn number 8 and through turn number 9 onto Scrapyard Straight. The Sodi cart chasing them behind. That looked like a Sodi cart, the graphic kit on there, but on my street, on my entry list, we haven't got any Sodi carts. It could have been a Maranello that just like caught the back end of there. I've got to say, that looks very Sodi-ish to me, the driver following just Luis Quinones. Let's have a look. There's 629, and he is second. No, just Luis is only fourth fastest.
Yeah, just and now I think they're going to get bumped a little bit to move them a bit further around. So Quinones, while it'll update on the ticker in a shifter, and KA Master, of course, will roll right after them.
Now, one driver we haven't got out there, unfortunately, is Brian Chatfield, which is a great shame because Brian races in memory of his brother, who was a serving member of the U.S. Army, as was Brian. Brian's brother was in the 101st Airborne and was sadly taken from us in Afghanistan, and he's got a great tribute to his brother on his crash helmet, but we'll catch up with that story, I'm sure, later in the season.
Here's a look over to the KA100 Masters. As you can see, the pylon on your left-hand side only has the 9 shifter master drivers that have hit laps so far here in this one. Barnes, Gouache, Ruck over Quinones and A. Quinones, and then no A. Quinones.
Just Luis
fifth.
and Luis
Just
A.
Luis.
Getting it done. Describe that session to me because, coming off of a championship in the Winter Series earlier this year, now stakes are higher, competition's higher, still able to get that pole position. What does it mean to you?
Yeah, definitely. Competition's a lot harder in this series for sure. There's 10 guys in the class, and I think 5 or 6 of them can compete for the win. So to start off the point series with some bonus points for the pole is awesome. But it's only a piece. We gotta go out there and race now. So it's great to have the pole, but racing's where it's at. So we'll see how that goes. But this is the best session I've had all weekend. So we're going in the right way and the right time. So it's good.
You mentioned the racing, you mentioned the competition as well. Super close field here in the Master Shifter class. What does it take to get a victory on this place? Long laps, very tough track to drive over the course of 20 laps.
Yeah, definitely a tough track. No mistakes. This is a very easy track to make mistakes, jumping all these curbs and stuff. So it's just being smart, being smooth, keeping your head in the game, and not making mistakes. One mistake could cost you 3 or 4 spots in a class like this. So yeah, just gotta go out there and do it.
Thank you, Skitchy.
Thank you.
Well, there you hear it from Skitchy Barnes. No mistakes. That'll be the key to the win in Shifter Master, and really the same for all classes all the way down. Like you said, there's a lot of airtime here at Orlando, and not about the airport 20 minutes down the road, but about probably 4 to 5 different corners out of the 13. You are flying over the inside curbing to get set up better.
Yes, and for the K8 Masters drivers, they've got their chiropractor on speed dial, ready for Monday morning after this one. So the ageless wonder, Tom Gerstner, in kart number 408. Keep an eye out for the Magic Kart driver. But this is the class, I believe, sponsored by, this is the class brought to you by Alessandros Racing, KA Masters.
Not in this championship.
Right,
it was for the SKUSA
last.
Winter Series, but you can see the sponsors right there just at the bottom of the screen. Inter MS here for KA Masters, Factory Fury GP Kart Motorsport for Shifter Master here.
Xander, I knew that. I was just giving you an opportunity to introduce our new sponsor and the ticker across the bottom of the screen, honestly.
Yeah, I appreciate the lob, Henry.
Yeah. Whoops.
But nonetheless, the Alessandros boys are here. Michel Garrido was a big proponent in helping get enough drivers to put on the KA Master class. You saw him go around Ruben Ravello earlier on. He's chasing these two, Jacob Neary on the AEM Karting LN kart. And then up the road, looks like maybe the Zanella entry was looking to move out of the way. That's Carlos Fonseca there on the 404. He ultimately decided not to. Still everyone chasing Barrios, and by a lot. 6/10 as of the ticker on the left-hand side of the screen for Mario Barrios to Michel Garrido. Of course, they're 6 seconds slower than the Shifter Masters, and with the combined group, they'll get lapped about once or twice, depending on it, as Fonseca, just pulled out of the way last second, and Neary had to make almost evasive action and not run into the back of that yellow thing.
That's the type of move from Fonseca that will not endear him to Neary. But of course, you know, this is going to be the one race where we do get lap traffic, because they're not going to flag the Masters off for being in danger of being lapped. You know, they're two different classes. They recognise that, you know, they're two different speeds. So the shifter drivers are going to have to negotiate traffic, and the Masters drivers are going to have to be very keenly aware of faster karts coming through.
Yeah, they will have to be very, very aware. At least if Mario Barrios can continue to put the gap on when they do get around him, he doesn't have to worry about when they pass him. He's still got 4/10 on the next best, which is Neary here in the LN kart. That will change, I believe, soon, though. Michel Garrido's lined up for a pretty good toe lap off the back of him right now, headed into turn number 4. But both of them still trailing by a decent margin. In fact, Barrios opened that margin up. 57.58 for Mario Barrios. That was 6.5 tenths better than anything Jacob Neary or Michel Garrido have put together thus far.
And I think that this is a result of Mario doing double duty. He's just getting extra track time. He's learning, you know, from the other senior drivers in that team, and he's just using it to sort of, wow. It's early days yet.
Wind is blowing the American flag in the breeze. We'll be back with more to set the grids for pre-finals.
We're at a commercial break.
I need a new 219 chain. I need a 77 tooth wrist sprocket. I need some more chain lube, and I need it probably as soon as like tomorrow. Dude, are you even listening? Like, we need this to run this weekend.
Want anything else?
What do you mean?
I already got it in the car on Acceleration Kart Racing's online store, bro. All orders over $200 get free shipping.
Oh, throw in a set of tires.
Done.
Everything you need, all in one place, and shipped to your door for free on orders of $200 or more. Exclusions apply. Shop AKR.com.
Welcome back here to Orlando as we are now on to the circuit for the Mini Swift division, the first of two groups in a 41-driver class. Alexis Bayarjan on the PSL Karting Bureau Art right now is your quickest over Nicholas Ardelian, and then John McClellan, who just jumped into third. Asher Pavon to fourth. Colton Schneegenberg fifth. And then here coming out of turn number 9, that is the 110 AKT Racing Team entry of Luciano Dales. So down the backstretch, still early, only 2 laps in. Everyone is still trying to find that perfect position for lap 4 and maybe even lap number 5, that good toe lap. There you can see Bayarjan. I think he's going to be set up for a really good lap next time around for lap number 4 on that red and white PSL Bureau Art, because he's just behind this main group. So keep your eye on the 199. Quickest right now. He'll probably go quickest again. He does. Colton Schneegenberg will 1 minute 29 for Schneegenberg on the energy for Team GWR. Nicholas Ardelian still third, only a full tenth back from him. So this slower group all pretty close in times, with still 21 drivers to roll here in Mini Swift qualifying, presented by Trinity Karting Group, Kart Republic. Final lap underway, though, as they head down the backstretch here, Henry.
Yes, indeed. Now, so this is where we're going to really see some slip trim. You can see the Team Felon logo on the front of Colton Schneegenberg's
Tony Kart, change of colors. My apologies to the Team GWR Ward Racing camp.
Yeah, so, he's got the Tony Kart chassis. Now, there's Bayerjon. Bayerjon having to make moves. That's not going to help him. Or has he just timed it enough? John McClellan, 60.111. We look. Schneegenberg doesn't go fastest. Oh, they all slowed each other down on the final flying lap. Bayerjon second, Schneegenberg third, Ardien fourth, and Sapirko is fifth. But getting the drop on all of them. John McClellan.
Yeah, John McClellan, great great fourth lap there. It was a final lap for him as he was a little late off the pit lane compared to everybody else. He'll go quickest in the slow group, a 60.11, as Henry mentioned, time to beat for the fast kids. Here they go onto the circuit. How about, oh wow, three wide coming off the access lane. That about took out the wall here with our cameraman. That's got a log jam coming out because they're all racing onto the circuit.
They're still too wide. No, I'm going to say, John McClellan, he's from Manhattan, so he's used to dealing with traffic.
Yeah, well, at least he wasn't a part of that mess. That looked a whole lot worse than anywhere else we've seen all day. Marco Samet is now going to have a massive gap out back and out front on the BJR MDR LN kart. So big gap back from him. Let's see what the fastest kid in final practice yesterday can do here from Orlando. This place has always treated him very well here. 2 years ago, he made his national debut in the micro category. Won on debut in the national scene. As, we got problems. That's the 157.
Jago Lempen, the Peruvian driver. Is that a legacy of the traffic jam coming out of the pits? Because that could be, maybe a track rod got bent or something like that. Not quite sure, but he's stationary on the track. Okay, it's early in the session, Xander, so the circuit staff, the marshalling team here, will get him off the side of the circuit. But Jago Lempen, well, there's one contender, one of the 41 contenders for the fast group that will be starting down at the back of the field. One of the other RPG karts there, the 158 of Nicholas Orbezo.
Big moment.
Yeah, big moment there in the break. Good kart control, but he's pushing because he's trying to catch this driver, Marco Samut, and get something resembling a toe on a slipstream. And you know what? He may just do it.
Yeah, Marco Samet in the 175 across the line that time by for his first lap at speed. Wasn't necessarily the quickest, but he was quicker than a lot of them around him. So at least Samet, 61.524. Decent lap to start the session, and that group has yet to catch him. Quickest opening lap, though, that goes to the Bennick, the 147 of Troy Ferguson. He is nowhere near that lead group, and he was probably in the middle of that traffic jam headed onto the racetrack, but he might be in a good pack a little further back, so we'll see where we can find him. One driver, though, that may be running Samet down already, take a look at the pole position parallel, the white helmet of Alessandro Truscio already closing the gap to the 175.
Yeah, when we spoke to Maxwell Matcher yesterday, he said, who do you think are the favourites? Truscio was the first name off his lips, and everybody knows how much talent this young driver has. All his peers are aware, and we'll see now as he completes another lap. Will the Truchot in the number 1 fight? Royce Vega only 11th fastest for the Bennett driver in kart number, what is right, the 133 kart of Dallas, Texas's Royce Vega.
Check this out here as they come out of turn number 9. Troy Ferguson working together with Orbezo. They're going to be on a great run towards Marco Sammet, who had to let Truchot by, who passed him on this lap, and they will probably get one more. That's good news, at least for Sammet. He'll get one toe lap before this thing is said and done. Troy Ferguson, though, that's perfect. He's going to start this lap about a half second back. A really good lap from Troy Ferguson and Nico Orbezo. The draft might take them all the way to the pole. Across the line, they'll go 3rd and 4th that time by. Truchot going to have to punch his own hole in the air to try and do anything more to keep that pole award. 59-54, and again, Lorenzo Varela is not even anywhere close to this 4-car pack. So he has got no one fast, at least fast enough around him, it seems, to run down the fastest times. And the checker's already flown here in this session. Truchot is in. Actually, that was the Truchot bailing on the final lap. So he passed Sammet on his 4th lap. Didn't like the way the kart felt. Bailed out of it. Down the back straightaway here. Down the back straightaway. Final time. Marco Sammet. Troy Ferguson. The 158 of Nico Orbezo. Look how close Ferguson is now, Henry. This could be a perfect lap for the Team Bennett Californian driver.
Yes, indeed. They're both there, as well as the RPG car, but Ferguson has timed this perfectly. Sammet went off like a scalded cat, and he's been caught. They come to the line. Truchot, Varela, Orbezo. Ferguson is the order at the moment. Ferguson doesn't improve. Enzo Di Janeiro stays 5th. And looking down there, Simoni up to 6th. Vega does improve to 7th. Baruch to 8th. And they push Bergman and Woon back to the top, to 9th and 10th. Katowski is 11th in the Spirit of America. Nation's Pride entered kart. So there's a couple of drivers going through the scales there, but there he is. Alessandro Truchot. I think he said he didn't like the way the kart felt. I think he realised, I don't want Marco picking up any slipstream. I'm going to pull in and spoil his rhythm a little bit and get out of the way. But there we go, Alessandro Truchot.
Well, he made it really easy for us. No need to wait for 30 karts to go through the scale line. Yeah. Truchot, first to the scale, first to the interview. Alex, let's send it down to you.
Alrighty. Thank you, guys. Here with Alessandro Truchot. I mean, we were just talking, right? You came in early. Were you that sure that you had the pole position there?
Yeah, so we had already done a couple good laps behind Marco Sammet. So we passed him, and we weren't going to do any better than that because we had no more slipstream. So we just came in, and when my team told me that, I knew I had a good lap.
Yeah, and I mean, you were super quick at the Winter Series. You were able to sweep. Are you looking to repeat here in the first round of the Pro Tour?
Yeah, that'd be nice. I'm going to push as hard as I can, and try to pull away.
Sounds good. Well, there you guys have it. Alessandro Truchot, y'all's pole sitter here in Mini Swift. Thank you.
Thank you.
There you have it from Alessandro Truchot to close out the morning run here on Kart Chaser. This is from Orlando Kart Center, and racing is about to get underway. Of course, here's a look at the rest of the day. Pre-finals literally we're set to start 10 minutes ago. We're not too far behind. We're a little behind, so we'll wrap this up quickly and go to the premium subscription stream. That has all of the rest of the action on the day. Pre-finals and finals for round 1 of the semi-pro classes. Pro qualifying, pro pre-finals to follow. Later this afternoon, we return.